You're watching Howard TV's HD Clip of the Week.
Adrian Grenier and Kevin Connolly. It's actually Grenier. Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I never knew how to pronounce that either.
Yeah, these guys are on the hit show Entourage on HBO. There's the boys.
There they are in the flesh.
Man. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, fellas. Good to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
I like the Grenier pronunciation.
Grenier. Grenier is the right way to say it.
Grenier.
Is it? That's
No, it's Grenier. You don't even
how
know.
do you say it?
I don't know.
Your co-star doesn't even know how to say it.
It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
I thought it was Grenier.
Grenier.
Why would it be Grenier?
Because Will researched it and found out. And evidently,
so you're wrong.
Adrian, you don't even know how to say your own name.
Is it Grenier? It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
My mom
it's
calls
an
it Grenier, and
affirmative.
I can't believe it. She does it every single time. My mom says the same thing.
Yeah.
Grenier.
You know,
Boys,
in year 5, everyone in Mary Tyler Moore's show knew how to pronounce their own name.
When Entourage was first coming out, I remember we spoke.
We had you in with
Mark Wahlberg,
Mark
yeah.
Wahlberg,
Marky Mark. And now the show's a huge hit.
It was like the first episode or something.
But did you believe it would really be a hit? Did you really think it would be this big?
Not as big as it is, no. It's pretty shocking. But yeah, at the time, it was like, I think 1 or 2 episodes had aired.
What had you done up until then? I mean, you weren't that well known, right?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I had done Unhappily Ever After. We talked about Bobcat Goldthwait. Didn't I?
Right, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Kevin. Kevin has quite a sexual history. He was dating a very hot chick named Nikki Cox.
Yes.
And Bobcat Goldthwait stole her.
Swiped her out from her. Yeah.
Right.
And
this
then
chick-
Jay Moore swiped her from him.
Is he now married
They're
to
married,
her?
yeah.
She's a very hot chick. She is, in fact, I remember Artie met her once when he was working on the set of
I worked
the
with her
Norm
for
show.
a year.
The Norm Show, yeah.
And she'd show up in like a 12-year-old boy's T-shirt, like one of those guinea T-shirts.
Right, the little
She would rehearse.
And she would distract the crew. They had to tell her to put some clothes on.
Fuck the
Did they
crew.
really have to tell her to put clothes on?
No,
Artie?
well, no. What happened was I worked with her for a full year, and she would rehearse. First of all, she had this enormous black guy who was her bodyguard.
Clay.
Clay. Yeah,
Who is she
know.
I mean, from
Well,
you
she
guys?
She
had
had to have
stalkers.
a bodyguard
She
at
had
all
se-
times.
She had stalkers.
She had a real, serious problem with a stalker years ago.
Okay.
And this guy is so intimidating, but she would show up. At the time, she was 21. And she would show up to rehearsal with like a 12-year-old boy's guinea T-shirt on.
Wow.
And fuck the crew. Me and Norm said, listen, we can't act as it is.
We're trying to act here.
I mean, I can't. We
She might have
couldn't.
been the reason that show got
That
canceled.
probably is right.
We had to switch our names in the cast to our real name. I originally had a different name.
Kevin, how devastating is it when you lose a girl like that to Bobcat Goldthwait?
It was not my finest. It's not one of my finest moments.
How did she tell you?
We've made
How
up
did-
since then.
How did you affect your working with him, though?
We did actually another year like that with them
Wow.
together. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Yikes.
How did she tell you?
I read it somewhere or something.
Oh,
Even
you're
worse.
kidding.
Yeah.
It's a terrible
Yeah,
thing.
it's a terrible thing.
And now she's dating Jay Moore.
She's married to Jay Moore, who's a nice guy. Listen, that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
I mean,
I've been to hell and back since then.
But was this going on behind your back for a while? Is that what you're saying?
I always assume that it is. If you think it's not, you're just in denial.
I'll have you know I will never
Whether
do
or
that
not
to
it
you,
was,
Kev.
yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Adrian gets lots of women. We're going to get
I
to
don't
his.
need your women.
We're going to get to your resume. I imagine it is not very difficult for you to get women. You're a good-looking dude. Sometimes I see Adrian at the gym. For a while, we were into this weird thing. We didn't even say hello to each other.
That was weird,
Really?
right?
It was weird. Then I finally walked up to her. I said,
Why
"Why
did
are you?"
that go on?
I go, "I don't know. I mean, I forgot that Adrian was on the show, and I would have immediately gone up and said, normally I don't bother anybody,
Right.
but I passed him in the hall, and finally I said to him, "Hello."
It was an awkward hello, as I recall.
Yeah, because I was like, well, maybe I did something bad to this guy or something. I don't know.
What gym?
I think we were
What's
just
the
trying to
gym
let
we
each
go
other.
to?
I mean, we were both like, in
Giving each other your space or
sweat.
something?
Yeah, but I didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother
Yeah,
me.
I don't want to bother anybody, but it was good that we said
Besides, you're
hello.
not a woman. Why should he bother with you?
Honestly, it's true. I thought it might be refreshing.
Why should he waste his time being charming to you?
All right, let me slow this down
the
for a
back,
second.
maybe,
because
right?
I got a lot to talk to you guys about. And Adrian will get to your list. But as long as Kevin started with
Hey,
the
let's
women.
start with Kevin, since we know him better.
Kevin, recently, though, and this is an important topic to bring up with you, you happened to be at the MTV Awards.
I was at the MTV. So was
when
Adrian.
Kid Rock, Adrian was there as well, but you
Yes.
were an eyewitness to Kid Rock and Tommy Lee fighting.
I
It
was.
was reported in all the newspapers that Pam Anderson was there and Kid Rock and Tommy Lee got into a fight. What did you see that night? What was your eyewitness account?
Okay, now, I mean, I don't want to incriminate. I don't want to incriminate anyone. Am I going to get in trouble?
Are there charges?
Are there
No,
charges?
the truth will set you free. What did you see that night? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay. I saw, Kid Rock. We were all at one table. And, Adrian, you were there. You have an eyewitness account as well. Are you going to chime in?
You saw it too?
Yeah, we were both sitting there.
Yeah.
Now, did the police interview you guys afterwards?
No.
They did not. Why not? Why wouldn't they interview?
I don't think there have been any charges.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That's good.
I was actually mesmerized by the performance on stage.
That's the one thing why most people didn't really see what was going on, because Alicia Keys was on stage and she was killing it.
Phenomenal.
Really, I find her a little boring.
Not this night. She was not.
She was good.
Nothing boring about it.
And she lost weight, did she not? She just better.
Looked great. The performance, everything that she was doing was unbelievable. So all eyes were on her. Not to mention we were right there, so she's like standing on top of us.
So why are these two fighting?
First of all, listen, I don't know Tommy at all. Kid Rock, to me, was like one of the coolest dudes. I could not believe it. I was very impressed with him. He just was like
He's a very nice
normal guy, you know, and he was sitting there, and I guess Tommy Lee came over.
Right.
And sat down sat next to him, and Kid Rock sort of, you know, just...
Dicked him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Was it a sucker punch?
No. Not that I saw.
Well, all right, let me take you through this. You're sitting at the table, you're minding your own business. Tommy Lee walks over to Kid Rock's table and plunks his ass down in the seat next to Kid Rock.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we're all sitting in our, Kid Rock is sitting in his assigned seat.
Right.
It's not like Kid Rock was looking for anything. That was his seat. He was there for 2 hours. He was there the whole night.
Tommy Lee walks over, sits down right next to him, which is going to be tough because here they were married to the same woman. A lot of mean things were said.
Did he say anything?
It looked to me like I don't think that Tommy Lee really even realized he did it.
Oh,
he
really?
did it.
And then Kid Rock
and they had this look of like...
Did Kid Rock stand up or did he remain seated?
Tommy Lee stood up first, I believe. Kid Rock said something to him like, get the fuck out of here. Get up and get out of here. Something like that.
And then Kid Rock hauled off and punched him in the face.
That's how it looked to me, yeah.
Did Tommy say anything at all?
He didn't really have much time to say much of anything.
Did Tommy go down from the punch?
It happens. One thing, the other thing is the security there was amazing.
Yes.
Security. It was like a half a second. And
now, let me ask you something else. Did Kid Rock check the security before he took the punch?
And then Kid Rock, Kid Rock just got up and sort of walked out with a bunch of security guards. It was pretty...
Wow.
It was really one of the coolest things I've ever seen, to be totally honest with you.
To see Kid Rock punch Tommy Lee in the face was probably better than what was going on stage. While Adrian was staring at the stage, you got to see the real...
I'm a music lover.
You are.
I mean, I
he likes the violence.
Caught it out of the corner of my eye. But the funniest thing was then Puffy and all the rapper guys were like, you know, you got to stop violence in rock and roll.
But Kevin, you do like violence. You have been involved in fights.
I was nothing.
Did you not punch Oil Air Brandon Davis in the face? Now, everybody can't stand him. I mean, he is an obnoxious rich kid. Why did you punch him in the face? How did that occur?
Why not?
Right.
Honestly, he's, I obviously dated Nikki for years, and they're,
that's not obvious. You dated Nikki Hilton.
Right.
Now, let me understand this. When you date one of the Hilton sisters,
yeah,
that's a very wealthy girl, right?
Correct.
Does she pay for stuff?
No, well, no. I mean,
why should she pay for stuff?
Because she has more money than Kevin.
Take her out.
I mean, Kevin's making okay money. He's working for HBO. He ain't a millionaire. We know that HBO is very cheap.
Right. They've been good with us.
Have they been good? Adrian, have they been good with you?
They've been all right.
They've been all right. You're not. I don't see you doing any dancing.
I don't have anything to compare it to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now,
yeah. I mean, no. Listen. I mean, I earn enough living to where. Do I pay for dinner? Of course. Would I do that kind of stuff?
He used to have to compete financially with her a little bit. As I recall, he spent a lot of money on gifts because he had to show her that Kevin
Dillon used to say, "You're setting the bar too high early, bro."
And you would hang out with Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton. That's got to be a great, fun scene for you, right?
Yeah, and the whole family. They were always very nice to me. It'd be easy to sit here and
where it
nice
shows though is like on vacations.
Correct. Well, no, not only that. They took me away for a Christmas vacation.
Money.
But that was her dad.
We could probably do a whole interview just on this aspect of your life because it's fascinating to bag one of these Hilton sisters and
hang around in the whole thing. Yeah,
they're nice. They're actually really nice girls. They hate me now.
They hate you now? Why do they hate you now?
Well, no. It's gotten better. I mean, they hated me for a while. But
why? Because you broke up?
Yeah. I mean, we just had an ugly breakup. But
why did she think you were going to marry her?
She thought a lot of things, but we're friendly now.
Why did you break up? It seems like a good situation. Attractive girl. I mean, money, the whole thing.
We were together for a long time, and some things just run their course, you know?
Yeah. How what
Run their course, huh?
When you start banging her, was this before Entourage?
Actually, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So
did you have to choose between the sisters? I mean, you go out. Do you have to say, should I go for Paris or Nikki?
No.
Who's got the tighter vagina, Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton?
Oh dear.
Come on, let's get that.
Oh dear.
Who's tighter? Who's better in bed?
Very good friends.
Who's better in bed? Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton? You go to a girl. You go into an island. They say to you, the only thing you can bring.
You get one Nikki. Which one do you bring?
Tough one.
You go with Cox or Hilton?
That would be a tough one.
It would.
That would be a tough one.
Well, what's your choice? I'm giving you Schindler's List now.
Honestly, the other thing, Nikki Cox, it was so long. I mean, it was literally. Like
so you would take Nikki Hilton over Nikki Cox?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I would take Nikki Hilton. There's a chance Nikki Cox might blurt out Jay Moore's acting.
You've just watched Howard TV's HD Clip of the Week.
Yeah, hey, I'm 𝙪𝙬, and I'm here promoting my book, 𝙪𝙬, and that's basically it. And I have no idea. I'm sure Howard's going to ask me about a lot of the little stories that are in the book, but I don't know which ones he would have picked up on. Probably all the lewd ones, I'm sure.
Now, is there anything that you don't want to talk about in there?
I'd like to try and keep away from talking about Axl in any great detail, because that's always sort of unnecessary. And I'm pretty much wide open for anything else, though.
𝙪𝙬 is here from the legendary band Guns N' Roses, and more familiar to you now is Velvet Revolver is his new band with the great,
quite good
with the great Scott Weiland, and I can't imagine what an effort must have gone into this for 𝙪𝙬 to write a book.
But I'm telling you, he doesn't look like a guy who would be calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning. With a story.
I'm reading a lot of the book now, actually.
Here he is.
It's killer stories in there.
Look at him.
Look at you. That's you. All right. Guy's a great rock guitarist. Spent many a day, I am sure. When you wrote this book, 𝙪𝙬, did you talk about your days as a really young man where you would... I mean, he was so... A few rock stars write about what it's like to become a professional musician. I mean, yes, people concentrate on the more sensationalistic aspects of this book.
After you've gotten there,
the sex, the drugs, and all that stuff. But didn't you have to spend endless hours in your room practicing this guitar to become a virtuoso, which you are?
It's mentioned. I mean, I didn't get into it in great detail. But
see, they always, just gloss over that
it
part.
It talks about how I got into it.
I don't like where your microphone is. You do me a favor. Just shift it's in your headphone, but shift your headphones down like this.
All right, hold on.
Gary, help 𝙪𝙬, for Christ's sake.
Is that better? Say something.
Yeah, I think that's right. Take a look at that, Gary. Help 𝙪𝙬 out, for Christ's sake. The man's not a professional broadcaster.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. Cool. Okay, now it's good. Now it's good.
So what I was getting at was, I mentioned how I got started and what I was into, what I was listening to at the time, and how I used to spend 12 hours a day and how I got completely engrossed in the whole thing and whatnot.
There was a period. It does take 12 hours a day.
Right, but it's not because for me personally, it's not because, you go, okay, it's whatever time, 9 o'clock in the morning or something. I start now, and then there's a lunch break, and then I get done.
No, you were a kid who was obsessed with guitar.
Obsessed, yeah. So every waking moment I spent with the guitar.
And what was it that inspired you? I mean, what was it that made you say, I want to play the guitar?
So, it's a long story. What happened was Steve Adler, the original drummer for Guns N' Roses, he and I met when we were about 13, and we basically ditched the 7th and 8th grade together, and just we're best friends. And he had a guitar, a little cheap guitar, electric guitar, and a cheap little amplifier, and he had a little turntable, and he used to crank Kiss, as loud as it would go, and then turn the amp up. And he didn't know how to play, but he would just bang on it. And it was the excitement of that started that whole sort of you can imagine teenage thing where it's like, oh yeah, we got to start a band. You know?
It's a great thing in life when you have a passion like that. Do you think that you had exceptional musical talent, or was it this unbelievable dedication to practicing?
I think basically I was raised on a lot of music because my parents were in the music business, and I loved rock and roll from the minute I could remember. And then when I actually picked up the guitar and put those realistically 3 notes together that make a rock lick that have that rock sound to it,
right.
I had a knack for it.
Did you ever take a professional lesson from a teacher?
I tried to, yeah.
And it didn't work?
Well, what happened is I had this guy. When I started, what I was getting at with Steve was he was going to play guitar and I was going to play bass, right? So I went to a local music school that was in the neighborhood. And I went in there without an instrument, and I said, I want to learn how to play bass. And the teacher was like, well, do you have an instrument? I said, no. So he started talking to me about trying to get into my head about what I knew about music, where I was headed, what I wanted to do. And while he was talking, he was strumming the guitar, and playing some Hendrix licks.
Yeah.
I said, that's what I want to do.
And did you ever learn how to formally read music?
Not very much. I mean, I started out with the basics. When I was in the music school, he sort of taught me some rudimentary stuff that was really handy. I learned how to string a guitar because my first guitar only had 1 string. And is it mostly by ear that you played, even with Guns N' Roses? Like you would hear something in your head and then you would just try to figure it out on the guitar? Yeah, it starts out like piano lessons, scales. You're trying to read music,
right? And
that didn't sound anything like what I wanted to do. So I noticed that he could listen to any song that I would give him, and he could pick it up and learn it by ear. And I said, I can do that. And and I quit school and I went and did it on my own.
So if you need to learn a piece of music, you just listen to it.
Yeah. And so when we're writing stuff for, say, any number of bands that I've been in, or I go and do a session with any number of artists, I just go in and do it by ear. The only person that I went in and worked with that I had to do...
Let me guess, Michael Jackson?
No, Ray Charles.
He wanted you to what? Read music?
I had to read chord charts.
You did?
Yeah.
And was that difficult?
It was. Ray Charles chord charts are not like anybody's chord charts. These are very. The reason I had to read the chord charts was to actually remember all the different chords, because there's so many and they're all jazz chords, which I hardly ever use.
So when you went into a session with Michael Jackson, let's say, he would play you a piece of music and say, hey, Slash, see what you can do with this?
Yeah, he would give me an arrangement, and then he would go, do whatever you want, and he would leave.
When you had to write a book, I mean, that sounds ridiculous that you had to write a book. That sounds like
another chore.
But I started thinking about your life. Mm-hmm. You are a guy like a free spirit. I don't think you really sat and worried. Like, you've been married 3 times. Twice, okay. But one of your wives, didn't you bang some chick like the night before your wedding?
My current wife.
Yeah. You cheated on her the night before the wedding, right?
Yeah.
And that marriage is working.
Yeah.
But don't you think, it is working.
Well, she's got balls,
But don't you think, like, in a way, I mean, with all the drug use, out of control behavior, all of this stuff, I go back to your childhood. It was a wild childhood in the sense that your mom even was having this torrid love affair with David Bowie while you were just a child.
Is that right?
Yeah.
True?
Yeah. Well, torrid's a pretty heavy word.
No, I mean, you mean affair like that? She was still married to Slash's dad?
No. My mom and dad were separated at that point.
And was your dad a black guy?
No, he's white. My mom's black.
Your mom is black. Is Bowie's thing black chicks?
No, he's white
dated
chicks.
A couple.
Yeah.
And he's married to a black chick now. I think that's his thing.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why does it have to be a thing?
Actually, a lot of white English guys like black girls. My dad too.
Yeah,
he's English.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it also on some other, occasions.
You would
I don't want to stereotype him, but yeah.
Right. Did you because people don't think of you as black. Do you think of yourself as black?
I don't think of myself as anything really, but when it comes up, I'm just a mixture of the two. And
was your mother rejected by the black community because she married a white guy?
No. I mean, maybe, I was too young to really say anything about that because I wouldn't know. But as far as I could tell, there wasn't any issues.
Was there ever shame or humiliation?
I'm sure there was a little bit.
Was there ever shame or humiliation in your life that you had a black mother? Did white kids try to shame you for that?
No, but I think there was moments. I mean, I really came from a different side of the tracks, no matter which school I went to or what neighborhood I lived in when I was coming up. So I was always different, and that just added to the mystique.
But wasn't it weird for you? Here you are, a young kid, and your mom is carrying on with what is a very, very famous rock star, and there were almost no rules how you grew up.
Yeah.
Didn't one of your mom's boyfriends do drugs with you, like heavy drugs, like smoke coke with you?
Yeah.
Who? Wow.
I mean, you were what, 12 when that happened?
12, yeah, 12.
12 years old.
No wonder you had a drug problem.
Yeah, your mom's dating a guy, and she goes to bed or whatever, and he comes into the room, and he says, "Let's get high."
No, my mom didn't know anything about it.
Right.
She wouldn't have allowed it.
No, understood.
No, he at some point he came to me and he's like, I know you do this stuff. Like, he was a photographer and he needed, misery loves company. He needed somebody to get high with, is what it was. And we go in the dark room and he'd get me loaded. And then we'd go out and hang out
12 years old
all night, around 12 years old, and go out and pillage the neighborhood until about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I would come home, pretend like I was asleep, and then get up and go to school.
But when adults are doing that with you,
mentally,
it's got to screw your whole head up. Like there's no rules, there's no boundaries.
And no wonder you seem weird to the kids at school.
Right. Well, by the time I was 12 and 13, I'd already established sort of a tearaway kind of personality. And so, but I'm talking about when I was younger, like when I was.
But you know what's sad about this?
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
If you hadn't had the musical gift, if you hadn't been, Slash from Guns N' Roses, you could have easily just ended up a junkie, no money, no life whatsoever, because these adults were not willing to parent you.
Well, all things considered, that's probably true. I probably would have ended up being an artist, though, because that was the original thing that I was.
Yeah, but you're talking about having some talent. We're saying if you had no talent.
Yeah, then I would probably, But
I mean, you live in a $7 million home.
That's the only reason I'm, the whole professional aspect of it and the musical, the passion for music and all that is what's got me to the point where I'm still here right now,
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a major part of it.
In a sense, too, then look at the dysfunctional family you married into, in a sense, in the Guns N' Roses organization. I mean, that's why the band couldn't stay together. I mean, in a way, maybe that's why you were attracted to Axl as a partner in music, because he was screwed up.
Out of it too.
You were screwed up on drugs. I mean, who was the biggest drug addict in that band? It wasn't you.
It was pretty much. Well, no, I think it was myself and Steven. And Izzy went through a period. Axl was never a drug addict.
Oh, he wasn't. He's just sober. Difficult.
He's straight. I mean, he would get high from time to time, but he's never been an addict.
Do you ever wish that Axl would come to his senses even now and just put the original Guns N' Roses back together again, go on tour, make a ton of dough, do
Mutual.
It's more mutual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it about you and the rest of the guys that he just would never want to get together with you again?
Well, at this point, I think, with all fairness to Axl, when I actually left the group, and I think he feels sort of. I haven't approached him about getting back together anyway, but I would imagine that he feels pretty abandoned.
I see.
We were.
Why did you leave the group?
I just couldn't. There was certain things I just couldn't take anymore.
Like what, though? It's so worth it. It was such a great band.
You know what?
What couldn't you take?
I couldn't take. There was a lot of it had to do with just not being able to control him, the time that the band went on stage, when we were doing anything on a professional level. And then after the Use Your Illusions tour was over, which was 2.5 years of a lot of roller coaster kind of behavior. And then, also another thing was losing 2 of the original members of the band, which was Steven and Izzy. So that I realized there was a chemistry about the way that we all worked, and also in relationship to Axl. Izzy was very much a sort of the glue, the in-between guy that kept Axl and I sort of on an even keel.
Right.
Because he came to L.A. basically. They were both from Indiana, so they had a certain kind of a relationship that really helped how the rest of the band sort of functioned.
Like the album name, Appetite for Destruction. Maybe it's just that's what it had to be.
It
had to destroy itself.
You have a really, really explosive band, which obviously is going to have sort of an implosive thing,
Right.
But and then after once we got in to start working on what would have been the next record, there was a lot of contractual stuff that Axl started throwing around, and that just was the icing on the cake.
Will you ever cut your hair? In other words, a lot of guys now have cut their hair. You still maintain the long hairdo.
Same with you.
Yes, but will you cut it all off at some point? I mean, there seems to be a movement. Why have you held on to the long hair?
I seriously doubt it. I don't know. I really haven't given it that much thought. This is the most thought I put into it.
Right now it's still working.
I don't agree with you. I think you do put a lot of thought into your look. I think Guns N' Roses put a lot of thought into their look. I think Velvet Revolver puts a lot of thought into their look.
Well, if you knew me as a kid, I'm basically the same always had long hair, always wore jeans and tennis shoes and T-shirts.
And the jewelry?
And jewelry.
Right.
It was the only thing that's different was the top hat, which came later.
How old were you when you put a nose ring in?
Oh, I must have done that during the Snake Pit days, so that was like the mid-'90s.
So there was nothing you could do that would shock your mother. Your mother had a rock and roll lifestyle.
I remember when I came home with my first tattoo, and I was like 15, 16 years old, and she was like, well, you know, the cliche, she goes, you know, you're going to have to live that for the rest of your life. And that was the last I ever heard of it.
That was, she didn't care.
No.
Did you ever feel your mom didn't care?
Very, very, very cool. And I was raised with a lot of
very
freedom.
cool. When your but wait a second. Yeah. When your mother was having a relationship with David Bowie, was that the coolest thing that could have ever happened? How old were you? I mean, he's way cool. I was like
a 9 or 10.
9 or 10.
And you would see David Bowie.
Yeah, yeah.
He would hang out in the house. You've had a charmed life that way.
She also used to work with him. She designed all his clothes, so they had a working relationship first and foremost, and then they had a romantic relationship, which really didn't last that long. It was probably like maybe a year and a half.
But were you proud of that? Were you like, wow, my mom's...
He was the first guy that came in after my dad, so I was pretty apprehensive about hanging out with him for a while.
But your mom must have been a very good-looking woman.
She's very good-looking.
Were you ever disciplined about anything? Did you ever receive any discipline? Were you ever punished?
No.
What would they punish you for?
You're not giving me any chance to get a word in.
Oh, I'm not. Okay,
no,
sorry.
But my parents, like I was saying, with all the freedom that I was given, I was, as far as certain morals and certain character thing, you know, there was a lot of that was instilled in me. There was a lot of right and wrong that just sort of came natural for them to sort of instill in me, which was really great. And I think there was a sort of a mutual respect thing, almost like treating me on the same level as they were. It was very interesting. I used to call them by their first names.
I wonder if that's good or bad.
I wouldn't let my kids call me by my first name.
You have kids now.
Yeah, they try. Yeah.
Do you are you a disciplinarian?
I'm not too good at that. I try. You know, I get like, you know, like I try and get angry, but I think it's almost laughable. But my wife she's got a handle on that.
So you're providing structure for your kids, even if it's through your wife.
Well, and also, I mean, you know, I've obviously learned a lot over the years, and I have a pretty clear memory of coming up, and so you just sort of you have sort of a natural instinct for things and what the kids should be doing and what you might have done wrong that you want to teach them not to do.
See, when I sit with you, you seem like such a rational guy. I can't imagine you almost throwing it all away on heroin and cocaine. I don't see it with you. I almost see you like a businessman. I mean, okay, despite the rock and roll persona and all that, I see you as a very reliable guy, a guy who shows up on time for interviews. You have a sense of the business. You respect rock and roll. You love what you do for it. You have such a passion for this guitar. What attracted you to this heroin to the point that you were, you know, every minute with it? I mean, it took over your life.
It was downtime.
Do you think that you were depressed?
It was. I wouldn't say. Most of it was fun for the longest time, so I can't say that I was actually depressed. If there was a psychologist here and we did a one-on-one for an hour and a half, he'd probably come up with some answers that maybe I wouldn't be thinking of right now. But it was mostly fun. But the thing about the drugs was it was always when I wasn't working. And I'm so hyperactive, and when I'm sitting here with you, or I'm sitting in the studio, or I'm out on the road, I'm actually in work mode. And that I can deal with. And as long as that's a constant, I'm fine.
But when the downtime
would end, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. And the pace of being in a band and touring constantly and living that life, touring is something that still to this day, I love touring more than I like being at home.
Right.
I still can't mellow out.
Right.
And I'm learning how to adjust to life not working, so that I don't go into the abyss like I normally would.
Is it hard for you to be a husband and a father when you really yearn for the road and the freedom of the road?
I just have to take them with me. I mean, I love them to death, so I make it work, but I have to admit I'm a little antsy when I'm at home for too long.
The last time you cheated on your wife was before you married her. You've been able to remain faithful?
On all honesty, I haven't cheated on her once since we got together.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, but now, are you on any kind of medication, or you...
You on Subutex?
No, I did do it for a minute though.
Yeah.
How do you get off heroin? You say that in your book that you go cold turkey.
I never really got into using prescription drugs to opt out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Artie uses Subutex. He's on it regularly to keep him off his heroin.
Right.
But
a lot of guys do that. I used Subutex for the first time a little over a year ago. and that's how I got off the OxyContin.
Oh, you were on that too, huh?
Well, that's heroin. I mean, people don't realize it, but that's heroin.
But before that, there was this stuff called Buprenex, and that never worked for me. I don't think I did it properly.
But it's funny, in your book, you describe your first heroin experience as not even being all that great. You were in the studio 1984 with Izzy.
That was the first heroin experience where I smoked it.
I see.
But the first time I ever shot it up, that was it.
Why would you go to shooting it if smoking did nothing for you?
Because, I don't know,
Because you couldn't believe you didn't like it. You mean when you smoked it, what was the reaction?
We were when I smoked it, I felt a little bit queasy, and I don't think I knew exactly what I was doing, so I didn't get the full effect that I was supposed to get.
And then how much time passed when you said to yourself, I have an idea that if I injected this, I would be happy?
It probably was about a year.
A year?
Yeah. Maybe in those days, a short amount of time seemed like forever. So it could have been 6 months, but it seemed like a year.
You mainlined.
Yeah.
But isn't it a weird thing, Slash, to start wrapping your arm with something and cooking up drugs?
It's actually half the fun of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It really? Do you still dream of it? Do you still miss it?
No.
You don't?
You know what? Because I stopped doing it as on a regular basis in like 1991, as soon as Guns N' Roses went back out on the second record. And I stopped, and I chipped a couple times along the way over the course of however many years. I probably put like maybe 7 or 8 times, and it never was as good as when I first did it. It was always
chasing the dream,
pain in the ass, and it just after a while you just resigned to the fact that it's just not going to be like that anymore, and you sort of let it go.
All right, so you're drug free now.
I've had moments where there's been people around who have had it on it, and there's in the back of your mind there's that sort of like, a sensation of going, oh yeah, wow, but your rational thinking just takes over and goes, you don't want to go.
You never did any rehabs
I did my first real rehab stint about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That recently. Would you laugh at guys like Aerosmith when you guys would go out on tour with Aerosmith when you were in Guns N' Roses, and they would have rules where, in order to protect their sobriety, you couldn't even drink alcohol around them, or you had to hide it and drink it in a cup and this and that or the other thing. You don't place those kind of demands on other people, do you?
No. I actually like it when, within reason, that people are, I like to be out with people and know that they're able to drink and stuff like that. It makes me feel more comfortable.
You don't even drink anymore? Wow.
Nothing? I
know, right?
Wow.
I can't believe it.
I play a lot better, and I've been very productive. And this particular point in my life, it's actually working.
When you go to rehab and you show up, and you're a very famous person, do you go to a rehab specifically for famous people?
Well, this particular rehab that I went to wasn't necessarily for famous people, but you had to have some cash.
You had to have some major dough. So you're in there with some big players.
There was actually nobody there when I went in.
You had your own rehab.
I was the only client, which was great.
Isn't that a little scary?
My own bedroom. I think I was really in control going in there, knowing why I was there. So I think I really went to rehab more just to get some help to get off the stuff that I was on at the time. I really
was that the OxyContin and all that?
Yeah. That just so I didn't want to go through the whole long withdrawal thing, and also just to sort of get away from everything for a minute and get my head together, because there was a lot of shit going on at that time.
Not only were drugs going on, but a lot of sex. And you describe something in your new book that is very disturbing, and I feel for you on this.
What, the Izzy thing?
The Izzy thing. You say,
what is going on here?
I
knew this is. Yeah.
I remember being up in the bunk one night after a show with Izzy and some girl. We were taking turns having sex with her, but Izzy wasn't wearing any protection. So when he pulled out, he came on my leg.
Oh!
Since I was right there on the other side of her, that definitely stopped me in my tracks. I sat up, I looked at him, and I said, "Hey, Izzy, man, we've got to get a bigger place."
Yeah, right.
When a man comes on your leg, what is that like?
That was a very surreal experience. But you have to understand, we were in a space that was entirely probably the size of a twin mattress. It was a loft that was the size of the mattress, and there was nowhere else to go, and we were both banging the same girl, and there was nowhere else for him to move to. And so in the heat of the moment, he wasn't really thinking about where he was aiming, and I was right there. And,
so many...
Really bonding moment.
It really is. And when Izzy came, did he come a lot? Was it a big load? Did he drop a big load?
What? It seemed like an eternity.
Was he laughing that he goes, "Oh my God"?
He didn't know he was out.
He
didn't realize where I was in proximity to where
it was dark.
crack was.
What do you do? Honestly, this is very specific. What do you do with the load once it's on?
You get the girl to lick it up.
You did? Did she really? I'm going to throw up. What do? You wipe it off with his shirt?
I used one of the blankets on the mattress.
When you're living that close with a bunch of guys and everything, the one thing I don't get is double teaming these chicks. Here, I mean, this is certainly a tremendous amount of variety on the road of women, especially when you're in a cool band.
This was in the old days. This was like before we ever hit the road, when we were just like the scourge of Hollywood local band.
Did you ever feel bad for the women? Did you ever have any sort of... This is what I'm talking about with your childhood. Like, it's almost like there were no rules. Like, some woman comes in, she's almost disposable. You take her in there, you fuck her a couple of times.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm that one guy in the band that actually sort of was sort of a sucker for girls. I mean, even the stupidest ones, I felt sort of bad for, the ones that would come in and be so easy to disrespect, you know?
Right.
And so some of the relationships that I had with women over the years, or most of the relationships I had with women over the years, when it came to sex, it was usually, so there was some sort of mutual respect between the two of us. But in certain instances, like this one that we're talking about with Izzy, that was just some girl that I don't even know how she ended up there.
Did you ever share women with Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses?
A couple times.
You did?
Yeah.
I guess everybody shared. Huh?
That's amazing. I never got into that. Then again, nobody wanted to share with me. Who wanted to see me naked? Certainly not another guy. Does it feel a little bit gay when you see one of your bandmates naked there, you know, and
you know how
it's funny. You can sort of. You don't really get into the watching them per se.
Right.
It becomes sort of an animal thing that you're not really paying attention to them. You're with the girl and he's with the girl and you're not really focusing on him at all. And you don't want him in any. Like I had an incident a long time ago where I used to have these parties at my house and party loving people would come over and we would have a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
And I was on the landing in my house with this girl, and I was on the floor, and she was on top of me, and Ron Jeremy happened to be there, and he came up behind her without even asking, and then sort of got behind her, and I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden I felt invaded.
Yeah.
So there has to be it's not one of those kind of things. I watch some porno movies and I go, I just couldn't handle.
There are rules, in a sense.
Yeah. You didn't want Ron Jeremy joining in.
Yeah, there can be some awkward moments.
Awkward in the sense, too, like when you have to follow Izzy, let's say, or Axl, you're the second guy in the girl. And these guys have already come inside the girl. I mean, does any of that bother you? That bothers me for some reason. Why am I so uptight? I mean, what's my problem?
Of all people.
Am I uptight?
It's not really being uptight. It's just certain people have certain limits to what they think is,
acceptable.
That never bothered you.
There's certain aspects of it that bother me. Yeah. You know, I'm not. I'm sleazy to an extent, but there's another part of me that's got a moral center that there's certain things I won't accept.
But are there rules as to who goes first?
I have a wide.
Yeah, but like are you the king bee in a sense that like you go first and then the guys follow?
I never thought about that. I'm actually racking my brains trying to figure out how that works.
So did there come a time when, let's say Izzy was banging a chick, he finishes, then you say, now I'm hopping on?
I don't think it ever really worked that way. It was usually one of those kind of things that if we were sharing a girl, it sort of all happened at the same time.
So would you prefer the mouth or the anus or the vagina?
Well, we never did the
anus.
Anus, the two,
Right.
Yeah, that's way out of control.
What's that sign that they got?
What is that called? Double, not DP,
it's not
but
double penetration.
I learned this in Canada recently. I can't remember what it's called though. Anyhow, I think he would be doing her and I would be getting it, getting oral.
Right.
We might switch around, not in any particular order.
Would it be something sort of too, if you weren't well hung?
I would prefer just having the one girl or two girls. I don't really like
two
having
girls
guys
is okay
around.
too.
Yeah. I could probably count on two hands how many times
you shared.
I shared, yeah.
Because it's a weird thing. Do you ever get into my penis is bigger than Izzy's? Or I mean, I would get into that. I mean, I'm not saying it's because You do naturally compare, and any guy who says they don't is lying.
Also, don't you see him doing some weird things? Oh, look at what he's doing.
Right. I guess there's awkward moments. Yeah.
Did you ever see Izzy like looking at a girl's butthole, and then you go, you know what, Izzy's gross?
Yeah, right. No, I don't remember that, but I do remember some incidents that happened with some other people in other bands where you have like a few girls come from a strip club or something like that, and they come into a hotel room and everybody's partying, and then all inhibitions go out the window, and next thing you know, there's like two girls giving one guy head for a minute, and then the other guy comes along, and then you're all standing together and they're all doing it, and you sort of at that point. It's a party, but then there's another element that comes in. It's like, okay, now we're all doing this together. I didn't know you that well. No. Right. Yeah, there's some moments out there.
When you wrote the book, did you leave some of those things out? Like you saw the lead singer of AC/DC do something?
I didn't put anything in there. There was one mention of my good friend James Hetfield.
Okay, from Metallica.
Right.
Yeah.
And I put it in there. I didn't want to get him into. I didn't want to.
What'd you see him do? What'd you put in?
He was in my hotel room, in the actual bedroom part, and I let him use the room with this girl that he was with. And this was a long time ago, way before he got married.
Pre-marriage, yes.
Yeah,
of course.
And I needed to go in the room to get something, so I sort of opened the door and was creeping in, and he was head fucking her against the wall. But he was doing it. He was doing it in the James Hetfield kind of like
angry.
Going, oh yeah, this is fun.
Rock and roll.
I mentioned that because it was.
Is your penis bigger than Izzy's?
I can't remember. I think we're roughly around the same.
Roughly
size.
around the same size. Axl had a small penis. I read.
I don't know. I never actually went there.
I see. You never took a look at that. Well, I mean, it's a fascinating life. I mean, the sex.
Are you
drugs.
talking to Axl now?
Hell no. These guys can't stand each other.
We haven't talked since when I quit. That was
pretty much it.
An unprecedented sort of kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought that I was serious. And I think that really caused a lot of bad blood.
You deal with the financial aspects of being in Guns N' Roses too. Your signing bonus when you first get signed to a record label. This is how out of control you were, which is so opposite the guy I kind of know sitting on the couch. You blew your signing bonus.
I tried not to.
You blew it on heroin, right?
Yeah. Well,
sad, right? I bet. How much money do you think you missed out on?
It wasn't that much money. It was $7,500.
Yeah, but at the time you had nothing.
At the time, it was huge, and I couldn't put money in the bank because I had a lien on my income at the time, and so I had it all in traveler's checks, and I really tried to maintain it. But you have to understand that when Guns N' Roses got signed, that we couldn't do anything. We couldn't do any gigs or you really do anything except for sit for about 1.5 years, and it was pretty hard to do. We were bored shitless.
Is there an unbelievable aspect to fame that, like, aside from your mom introducing you to David Bowie at an early age, all of a sudden you start to get in a band, you start to get some kind of name out there, and suddenly, like you say, your first son was conceived in Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones house. You're hanging out with Sly of the Family Stone, smoking PCP and crack with him. I mean, you're doing.
Well, I didn't actually smoke crack with him,
but you saw him doing it.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. He seems like such a normal guy.
Yeah, when I saw him last, he looked fine.
And then all these
drugs do weird things to very normal people.
And then wild things happen to you. I mean, a woman blew him while he was asleep. I mean, that's great stuff, right?
She wasn't a woman. She was a kid. She was.
What do you mean?
She was. I mean, she must have been like 14 or 15 years old.
And you were asleep?
I was sort of asleep. I sort of half woke up for that.
I mean, this is not a normal life. You know that. I mean, most guys.
It's all fun, though. I got to tell you.
You bet.
I have no regrets.
Oh, I bet. I was going to ask you that. Certainly, you shouldn't.
Also, my parents. I came from sort of the whole free love generation.
Right.
Everybody was very uninhibited in those days. And when you talk about David and whatnot, I mean. I was raised around a lot of musicians, a lot of entertainers,
right.
And it was all like that. I mean, I remember walking into a friend of my mom's place one time. I mean, adults were always having sex when I was a kid. And it wasn't.
All of this.
It wasn't lurid, that kind of sex. It was just sort of a more loving kind of.
I'm telling you, he had a childhood with no rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought it was normal to walk into a room and see adults having sex.
Well, I mean, it would have been abnormal for them to keep me around.
Did you ever see your mom having sex?
Only once.
Who was she having sex with? With your dad?
Yeah, I walked in one time.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I never.
What position were they in? I bet it's frozen in your mind.
It was missionary.
It was.
Yeah.
And did you stand there and watch?
There was that second that lasts forever.
Yeah. You saw it going in and out.
No, it wasn't that close. I was on the other side of the room.
That's got to be traumatic. Yes, Gary, what do you want to ask?
No, I just want to ask Slash, because there's stuff that you read, and I heard that you don't talk to Axl anymore. And there was that weird incident a couple of years ago, I just never understood. Guns N' Roses, the Axl Guns N' Roses, played the Hard Rock on New Year's Eve, and Slash went there just to see what was going on, but I never understood what actually happened.
What happened was my wife and I saw an ad for Guns N' Roses at the Hard Rock at the Joint in the Hard Rock, and so we made a plan to go there. It was New Year's Eve, so went down there, sort of got myself set up, made a phone call, got set up, and then went down there, and I was forbidden to enter the venue.
But did you ever say to Axl, "Hey, I want to come by and see you"?
No.
And they didn't want you in.
The whole building knew I was coming.
Why do you think you went there? Were you looking for confrontation? Were you looking to say to him?
They were saying that the rumor was I had my guitar and my top hat, and I was going to go in there. But
why go and torture yourself?
But no, I just wanted to go see Guns N' Roses because I'd never seen them before.
Yeah, but wait a second.
That was it.
You had to be angry. This isn't Guns N' Roses.
But this was years after. You have to understand, when I quit, whatever he went on to do after that was fine.
Right.
And I knew he was going to continue on with the name because that was one of the things that was leading up to the split anyway, when it first came up. And so I was really intrigued. I wanted to go see what Guns N' Roses was.
What do you think of like Van Halen right now, where they get rid of Michael Anthony, the original bass player and backup vocal guy? They put in Eddie's son. Eddie Van Halen's son is in there now. Like, does that kind of burn you up a little bit? Because that's what Axl tried to pull with Guns N' Roses. He tried to replace the whole band. Right. Do the fans deserve to see... They don't want to see Van Halen or Guns N' Roses with other players.
Well, I think it needs to be made very clear to the public that the original members will not be there, which... Somehow with the Guns situation, I don't think that happened.
I think that's why you went to the show that night. You wanted to sort of say to Axl, "Go ahead, you do this in front of me, asshole."
It wasn't like that.
I will tell you how
it was. It was really pretty innocent. Just wanted to go see. I mean, think about it. How interesting would that be?
Yeah, but you couldn't have been surprised by their reaction.
I would be angry.
I was. There's a point there. It's like, oh, come on, get off it. What am I going to do?
Yes, Gary.
It was weird because there was one time I went to see Guns N' Roses, and of course you're looking for the guitar player to be Slash. And it could have just been sort of, nondescript. And instead it was that weird guy, Buckethead. You remember?
That was on the MTV show.
It was a guy with a bucket over his head, and it was almost like calling too much attention.
I was him for Halloween a couple of years ago.
Were you? You were Buckethead?
Yeah, but let me just put one thing in.
Do you think Buckethead is a talented individual?
I don't really know his work. I really don't know his work.
Okay.
I've heard he's a really accomplished guitar player.
Okay.
Very technically, fluent.
You say that as a put down in a way, that a guitar player
he's not a rock guy,
A rock guy has a certain soul to his guitar.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's not just all about technical.
I have heard a couple pieces of music from Buckethead, and it's technically proficient, but doesn't have any heart.
So, in other words, you kind of say, hey, there's two types of musicians. There's the guy who can go in and read charts and get that all done, and then there's you. You can walk into a studio and make something magical happen.
Something like that. It's like if somebody picks up the guitar and has the balls to really come from the heart and expose himself, emotionally on the instrument, you can tell, you can feel it.
Getting back to the sex for 1 minute.
Wait, let me straighten out one thing about
go ahead.
the Axl thing.
Yeah.
Just with all due respect to Axl, he didn't know that I was banned from the venue. It was a manager thing, which actually happened to be our old manager, who I hated with a passion anyway. And he thought Axl might not react, positively if he knew I was there, so he decided to take it upon himself.
But did Axl ever reach out to you afterwards to say, "Hey, I heard you were there. Sorry you couldn't get in. Would have loved to have seen you"?
No, that's not his style.
No, he doesn't do
reaching
that.
out.
No.
Now,
okay, sorry.
Getting back to the sexual thing, it is amazing. Because I'm sure you guys weren't wearing contraception and stuff. The only STD you say in your book that you got was you got genital warts on your stomach.
No. I got genital warts on my penis. But what happened was I had these marks on my stomach, which they were sort of like psoriasis kind of thing. But being hypochondriac, I guess. It was right around the time that the AIDS thing was first really starting.
Right.
And it just seemed like real small versions of what the AIDS
so you thought you had those
lesions look like. And of course, it would not surprise me because practicing safe sex at the time wasn't really a habit. I don't think
And you were
the only
doing
time you
drugs.
ever practiced safe sex was not to get a girl pregnant, and that was. But even then, that was hard to do.
But it is amazing. You didn't come down with a lot of stuff.
That was the only thing. That and crabs. That was the only.
The crabs you got. You didn't get the herpes. You didn't get any of that stuff. You really got.
I never
lucky.
I never even got hepatitis C, which a lot of guys.
A miracle. Did you share needles when you were shooting?
There was times.
Yes, and
See, he skirted all of them.
I've been really lucky.
Yeah.
But here you are, a hypochondriac.
Not really. I'm just
But you probably are
a little bit.
Yeah, and then you would share a needle with someone, which to me would be totally dangerous.
It's in the whole fervor of
getting the drugs.
Yeah, it is a real psychological thing to that.
They say that about Keith Richards too, that he's lucky and he's got this constitution, of an ox.
A horse,
Yeah, you have to be reasonably intelligent to sort of get away with a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, I've been really, really lucky.
Yeah, it is. It's a roll of the dice. Another upsetting thing happened to you. You once passed out. You were unconscious, and you were teabagged by Tommy Lee, the drummer of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Now, what's that all about?
Don't trust your friends.
Yeah, I mean, you passed out from drinking.
Yeah.
You're laying there on the floor unconscious. And Tommy Lee gets naked and puts his balls
over my face. They weren't touching, but
who knows?
Well, I saw the picture.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, there was it's actually in Nikki's book. I think it's a little bit more graphic in Nikki's book, of course.
Describe, if you would, the smell of Tommy's balls.
I was out cold.
I see. So you never smelled his balls.
No.
Right. Do you say to a guy afterwards, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm going to kick the shit out of you"?
No. I deserved it because I put myself in that position by passing out on the floor of the bar and them having to take me up to the room and put me to sleep.
But you do expect your bros to
well,
be...
I had a couple things to say, obviously, but under the circumstances, I deserved it.
You seem like a good-natured person.
I am. I'm pretty easygoing.
What about fights? Do you ever have any fist fites?
I used to.
I haven't
in a while.
Did you ever have any with Axl?
No.
You never had a fight?
I think there was one time in our relationship where I thought that was going to happen, but I think we both thought better of it.
Probably the relationship between you and Axl can never be repaired, because even in your book you say some nasty things about him in the sense that you saw him flip out on girls who wouldn't have sex with him.
There was one incident that I didn't put that in there because I wanted to talk about him. It just had a lot to do with why I left. We were in rehearsal at the time, and we were staying in Chicago, and why I left Chicago, which is a whole story.
What did you see that night?
Nothing I'm going to get into here.
What do you mean? He yelled at a girl or he hit her?
I just reacted inappropriately.
In other words, hey, you have to give me
sex with him.
Yeah. But there was, I really don't want to get into all that because it wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't that big a deal. I think the reasoning behind it and so on and so forth, I thought was sort of unsavory. So I just got sort of disgusted with the whole thing that was going on at that period. So I don't want to single that one incident out.
Why did you have sex with an old girlfriend the night before your wedding? What happened there? Were you scared to get married? Was that it? And you just said, hey, shit, I got to get out of this thing?
The first marriage I got into, was an ultimatum,
right?
And I don't think I went in the right. I didn't go into it from the heart, and so I'd sort of dated this girl that is now my wife.
Right.
Not really dated, but we saw each other on occasion, and we always had a good time. And she knew that. She knew that we had sort of a connection.
Is this the wife when you were doing my movie you were hanging out with?
That's the one that I was married to then.
Right.
Yeah.
You divorced
was the first
her.
one.
Yeah, I divorced.
She was hot.
She was a good-looking girl, but it was an ultimatum. I'd been caught. She finally caught me. Someone ratted me out for everything that I'd done behind her back. I mean, literally everything.
Aren't friends great?
Somebody had it in for me.
Why would they do that to you?
And so we split up for a while, and of course I was out on tour, and I started feeling lonely. And just because of all these things I did to her didn't mean that I didn't care about her. It was just I really wasn't ready for that serious of a relationship at that point, I think.
Are there any? But there, again, there's no rules, So like you would just say, hey, screw it.
I was like a sex addict at that point.
You were.
I was out of control.
When you went to rehab,
I used to keep 3 and 4 hotel rooms in every hotel, so I could go bouncing around.
So that's part of your thing. You can't sit still. So so keep yourself busy with women, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like drugs.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
You can't knock it, though.
A lot of famous women?
No, not necessarily. I mean, some more famous than others, but
look at you. How many women you figured you banged in your time? Come on,
I don't.
Give me a number.
I don't have a number.
You up over 500?
I have no.
Look at you.
You didn't keep any records?
Of course not.
Are you kidding? There are written records. It's more thorough than a German concentration camp.
Anyway, so what happened happened was Perla heard that I was getting married. Actually, she came to my bachelor party, which was a co-ed bachelor party because what I was saying was I called my girlfriend up. I called my girlfriend up, who was going to be my wife, and I said, let's get back together. And she said, not unless we get married. And I was like, oh.
So you had to do it.
And so then we did it, and Perla, who'd known me from previous, came around and said, ha, and then somehow we ended up doing it the night before my wedding.
Beautiful.
The wedding was doomed from that point on. The marriage was doomed, But I feel really bad because I actually put her through something. I'm not into hurting people's feelings for, being inconsiderate.
How are your children going to rebel against you? It's going to be tough.
I don't know. I'm sure they'll find
all
kids find something.
Yeah, they seem like good kids or what?
They're great kids.
They are.
Yeah, they're out of control too, though. We have to work really hard to keep them in check.
Right, because you're used to having a life.
My wife
rules.
and I, when we first, our whole relationship, up until when we had kids, we were probably the craziest couple you'll ever meet.
Oh, I believe that.
And so when the kids came, it sort of, I guess it was payback. It's like, okay, we got 2 boys. It's like,
who are the great bands today? Anybody turning you on musically, or are you just fed up with the whole scene?
I don't have a lot of positive things to say about what's going on with rock and roll right now.
Right.
I mean, it's about as far removed from the genuine article as far as I'm concerned. There's some bands that are still around that came out in the 90s, which I might have not thought that much of then, but I think huge, I think they're great now because they're the only bands around that have any inkling of what that kind of rock and roll attitude.
What's an example of one of those bands?
Well, Foo Fighters are great.
Yeah. Foo Fighters are great.
One of the greatest bands that's come out in the last 15 years.
Did it surprise you when the drummer from the Foo Fighters turned out to be a lead singer and guitar player?
Yeah,
I mean, what did I say?
Drummer from Nirvana.
From Nirvana.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw the Foo Fighters was here at what's the place by Dave Letterman.
Roseland.
I saw him at Roseland, and it was great. And that was in not too long after Kurt died.
It was shocking to you, probably.
But he is a great band, and he's a great songwriter. Yeah.
So, when you had to write a book, I don't even know what inspired you to write a book. When you say you wrote the book, you worked with a writer, and he even claims at 4 in the morning, when you would remember a story, you would call him. You don't know any work hours. And
well, no, I had to call him when they came because trying to recall all that stuff wasn't the easiest thing to do.
Oh, I think it's the most difficult thing in the world. Well, you've done it. I mean, you've written a very, very interesting book. This is great. Slash's new book, Slashed. That's the name of the book.
It's just Slash.
That's what I said.
I thought you said slashed.
Yeah, you did say that.
I thought,
Sloshed.
Slash's new book. Slosh would have been a good title.
That's a good one. You should have talked to me. The book Slash is in stores now, and you can check out Slash in Guitar Hero 3 in stores now as well.
Best game ever, by the way.
Isn't it cool?
Guitar Hero Howard is the best fucking game.
It's one of those things I got involved with that I don't consider a sellout because it was so cool.
Better than chess?
No, chess is great, but that's a different animal.
I see.
I keep chess on my BlackBerry.
You play chess?
Yeah.
You're not on the ICC,
What's the ICC?
Chessclub.com, Internet Chess Club?
No.
Oh.
Because Howard could play with you.
I will play with you.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That's when I remember starting playing chess when I was pretty young, and I've always had a thing for chess.
I don't want to brag, but I'm a 1600.
No, I believe you're probably pretty good. You seem like you would be.
Yeah, I'm no retard.
I'm into poker now. That's my new thing.
That's your thing?
That seems like everybody's into poker. So
but are you going to get carried away with that and blow a lot of money?
No. I mean, at this point, I love watching it on TV, and I love playing it on my telephone.
Right.
And it's.
Are you playing big stakes poker?
I'm not a gambler. You're not going to get me to take $1,000 or $10,000 and put it on the table.
How much do you play for?
I don't play for anything. I'm playing on a machine.
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't go to the
that's
casino.
I have some friends that I can play with, but that's small stakes.
All right, get the book Slash in the stores now. What do you want to say, Garibaldi?
I got a question and then a story. One of our friends has a good story about Slash. But in the book, do you talk about how you wrote the songs? Because I read how you came up with the guitar riff for Sweet Child of Mine. I was wondering if it was true.
I got into a lot of the songs on Appetite because it's such an infamous record, and so I did talk about Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle and Night Train and Paradise City and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because Sweet Child of Mine supposedly was what he would do to warm up that riff.
Right, in practicing, I try and make up something interesting just to keep myself engaged instead of just mindless practicing. And I stumbled on this cool pattern that had a nice melody to it, and started coming up with these different notes within the pattern. And then a couple of the other guys started playing some chords behind it.
And then would Axl come in and then start singing to it?
Axl, unbeknownst to us, was upstairs writing lyrics to it, and we didn't know.
Wow.
And so the next day at rehearsal, he goes, let's do that thing you guys were working on, and it became this big song, you know.
That's great. You know, when it's that easy, it's a shame it can't last forever, you know? You just wish you could stay in that zone.
But that was just him warming up.
It's also one of those songs.
The song still gives me chills.
It's one of those songs that's very indicative of an entire band working together.
Right.
It would never have happened without the other guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. It's a collaborative thing that happens. Yeah. But you were this is your warm-up exercise.
It's not a warm-up exercise. He said that.
Well, that's what I read. What was it?
It was just something that I made up that I was just thought was interesting.
Practice,
but I never would have probably made a song out of it. It was very private. They just happened to pick up on it. You know?
And Axl walks downstairs and says, hey, listen to these lyrics I'm working on.
He didn't know. He didn't say anything. It was the next day. If I remember correctly, he goes, hey, play that thing you guys were jamming in the living room yesterday. And so we started playing it, and he started singing something. So he was up there listening and writing.
Wow.
You know? Oh,
that's just great. That's a cool story. Yeah.
Now I got to tell you our story. So Shuley, our very own Shuley, used to live in Las Vegas, and he said he worked at one of those photo places. Yeah. And he said he once developed a nude roll of film of 𝙭. He's out there if you want to talk to him about it.
You got to be kidding me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that on camera? You don't care. You probably high as a kite.
I don't believe this, but
what was it, Shuley? You worked in a camera place.
Well, it was like a souvenir/liquor store that sold everything. If it wasn't nailed down, we'd sell it, and we developed film there too. And he came in and was trash. And at the time, I didn't even recognize /𝙭 because he didn't have a hat on. His hair was flat and everything. And they dropped off a roll of film. It was you, and I don't know which one.
Was it in L.A.?
No, it was in Vegas. It was on Fremont Street.
No, okay. There's actually some pictures in the book of she and I, but they weren't full on sex.
No.
There's some nudity, but there's no real penetration.
There's a picture in the book. She's got her face where the sun don't shine.
When I developed the film, that's when I realized it was /𝙭 because there was a picture of him in the shower, and I saw this tattoo on his arm of himself. It says /𝙭 with the hat.
It's a tattoo. He was actually of a girl, but it has my name.
Oh, it does. Okay, well,
character.
And he was nude, and he's just standing there in the shower.
How was he hung? Was he have a big penis?
Yeah, it was huge. I made double prints. I put it in the book we had for naked photos. We had a book underneath for nude pictures. You're very gracious.
That was very nice of you. Well, /𝙭, it's a pleasure.
Yes, Artie.
Can I ask him a couple of questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
How you doing, man? Artie. You guys were like a great sort of band in the tradition of classic, rock and roll. When you saw bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, that whole grunge thing coming on, did you feel like you guys were in trouble in any way?
No. I was really excited. Being that in the 80s we were one of the few sort of hands down gritty rock and roll bands. There was so much other glam and sort of fake anthem stadium rock or whatever you want to call it going on. When grunge happened, which I still have a hard time calling it that, but in the 90s, in the early 90s, when Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, what's the other band?
Pearl
Jam. Yeah. And bands like that, those were the main ones. I thought it was great because it was like some new blood, and I was really addicted to a couple of these records.
So was it a turn off to you? You liked it?
What would you rather call it? Rock and roll, like anything else,
right? It was basically just an extension of what we were doing.
Right.
I agree. I agree.
And just one real last thing. I've struggled with drugs as documented on this show, and I'm curious. What created more chaos in your life? Because I have a definite answer to this.
Yeah.
Coke or heroin? What do you think created more chaos? What made you more out of control? Cocaine or heroin?
Coke definitely made me more out of control. But we keep mentioning Coke, but I only speedballed Coke, so I always had it with heroin.
Oh, really?
I did a couple lines here and there. Like I used to hang out with Sam Kinison back in the day, and he used to blow my mind. He'd do a line the size of this table in one hit.
Yeah,
really some serious business. Yeah. Coke's not really my drug of choice. It's too up.
So you always had heroin?
I'm a heroin guy.
Wow.
But some of my weirdest stories in the book are about when I'd run out of dope and it just end up with the Coke left to shoot, and then the hallucinations that go along with that.
Right.
You said at one point you put your fist through a piece of glass shower.
There was something that happened, an incident in Phoenix, where I probably would have gone to jail for a good amount of time.
Oh, really?
And luckily, there was a promoter there. My manager called. That was probably one of the few.
What happened?
One of the few good things they ever did for me. They got me on a plane and sent me back to L.A. like like that.
What did you do though?
I tripped out in this resort.
Coke. Yeah. You started to hallucinate.
Yeah, completely. And I was running around this resort, running from something I thought was chasing me.
You were naked, weren't you?
Yeah, I was naked, and I ran into this maid who pressed charges.
Oh my goodness!
For what?
For what do you call it? You know, like
indecent exposure.
No. When you punch somebody, what do you call it?
Assault. Yeah.
I couldn't
punch the maid.
And then
you were naked and you punched the maid.
I just ran over her.
You thought she was a monster.
I knocked her down. No, she was in my way, and
and you were running from what? What did you see?
I was running from these little imaginary demons that had these little guns that were chasing me, and I trashed my hotel room trying to get away from them, and then went through the front door.
It doesn't sound like fun.
No, it was you
could have lost your mind.
Yeah,
in the book you described them. What do you say that you described?
I said they looked like the little predator guys.
Yeah,
that's the closest. That was the best thing I could come
you were real hardcore with this. In fact, in the book, Slash goes into the fact that he got a virus from drinking too much, and they had to replace something in your heart, didn't they?
They put a defibrillator in my heart.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And they told me that
this is hardcore.
That I wasn't going to live. They said that you have 6 days to 6 weeks, and I refused to. I remember that was serious, and I didn't have a problem quitting drinking to sort of go along with doctor's orders. But I was really concerned with getting all because I had to cancel the tour, and so I wanted to make up those dates.
Right.
And that's what got me through it. And I was back on the road within months.
Because when you're on coke or heroin, at least me, you can drink endlessly. And when I would go on a coke binge, I was more into coke in my 20s because it forced you to be social. Cocaine, you were out, and that's why it created more chaos. But heroin, you want to withdraw and be by yourself.
I'm an introvert by nature, so doing coke and socializing, it's like, it's okay. It makes it more, like, I go out now and I realize why I did so many drugs, because I just can't
stand being around people.
It's like boring, hang out at a bar, everybody's talking, and you're like, this is why I used to drink.
Well, anyway, hey, by the way, you were at Anna Nicole Smith's funeral.
Yeah.
How did that? Were you close with her?
I wouldn't say close. She was more of an acquaintance to me, but she was close to my wife.
Oh.
And we didn't know each other all that well, but what's the guy's name?
Howard K. Stern.
Howard invited us, and Perla thought we should go, so we took off and went down there, and that was a real scene. And Nicole's mom was a real piece of work.
Really?
Yeah. She showed up at the funeral. I guess it was about an hour to 2 hours late because she was at the courthouse still trying to win that.
Yeah. The custody deal.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, man. You've done it all, and you've put it in.
And
you've put it in a book
everywhere. Yes.
And I got to tell you something. It's a great book. Good for you, man. Slash's new book, Slash, in stores now. Check out Slash and Guitar Hero 3, by the way.
And we have Velvet Revolver's got a new record out.
Yeah, Velvet Revolver, and that thing's going well.
So we're touring. I'm just on a quick break. We're going to Japan and Australia.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I can't believe you got Scott Weiland under control.
He's the angel in the band.
No kidding.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I wouldn't call him an angel, but he's doing really well.
Well, it's great. It's always great to see you. I love when you come in here. I love to sit and talk to you about your life. Yeah. It's fascinating.
All you guys, and I heard you were sick, so you might not be here. So I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm not sick. Don't believe
No. She's sick.
She's the healthiest one in the room, Slash.
All right. That's right. Thanks, Slash.
Right,
Good luck with the book.
You.
All right, Slash, how do you think it went in there today?
It was good. That was one of the more comfortable times I've had doing Howard Show. I always have a good time doing Howard Show, but I also get nervous.
Why were you nervous?
I don't really like talking all that much, like doing face-to-face interviews, because I'm sort of quiet, and I get thrown to the wolves sometimes. Howard's like that. The first time I ever did an interview with Howard was over the phone, and I didn't know who he was. This was years ago, and I called him from Hawaii at like 2 in the morning, drunk off my ass, and didn't know who I was dealing with, and he just sort of wiped the floor up with me. Right? But luckily I think that what broke the ice though was that he was cool enough to let me redo the show the next day. And so ever since then, we've had sort of a relationship, so I have a lot of respect for the guy.
And was it weird talking about like your sex life and your childhood with drugs and everything?
I was sort of expecting it, but you never know exactly how it's going to go. There was a couple of uncomfortable moments in there, especially the group sex stuff. Because I hadn't really thought about that. I didn't have any good answers for it. But it's all good,
So we got Adrian Grenier and Kevin Conley from Entourage coming in.
Adrian who?
I love those guys. Adrian Grenier.
Isn't it Grenier? I'm just saying is all.
Leave me alone.
You like this guy. You think he's hot.
Okay. How you doing? Good.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
Morning.
Just got off the red eye.
Oh, man.
Sleepy.
Throwing you right into the...
Right into the wine pit.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So you guys still psyched, though, even though it's so early?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his coffee, though. Right this way. Right this way, guys.
Oh, look, the fruit plate.
The fruit plate in there.
They got the fruit plate.
So you guys know if there's a fruit plate, you've made it.
Yeah. This is it.
We thought that if we weren't Tom Cruise, we weren't going to get one.
No, you guys have made the list.
We did. Nice. That's a great...
That is a very sexy fruit plate.
So what's going on? You guys have a coffee table book coming out?
We do. Is it a coffee table? It's a coffee table, yeah. It was good. Have you looked at it?
I have. It's actually a really great book. And it's not just because I'm in it, but that does help.
All right.
No. It's actually pretty well done.
It is.
That's all right.
It's very fanciful.
All right, guys. Have fun with Howard today.
We will. We're very excited.
From Entourage, Adrian Grenier and Kevin Conley. It's actually Grenier. Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I never knew how to pronounce that either.
Yeah, these guys are on the hit show Entourage on HBO. There's the boys.
There they are in the flesh.
Man.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, fellas. Good to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
I like the Grenier
is the right way to say it.
Grenier.
Is it? That's
No, it's Grenier. You don't even
How
know.
do you say it?
I don't know.
Your co-star doesn't even know how to say it.
It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
I thought it was Grenier.
Grenier.
Why would it be Grenier?
Because Will researched it and found out. And evidently,
so you're wrong.
Adrian, you don't even know how to say your own name.
Is it Grenier? It's Grenier.
It's Grenier.
My mom calls it Grenier.
Affirmative.
I can't believe it. She does it every single time. My mom says the same thing.
Yeah.
Grenier.
You know,
Boys,
in year 5, everyone in Mary Tyler Moore's show knew how to pronounce their own name.
When Entourage was first coming out, I remember we spoke.
We had you in with
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
Marky Mark. And now the show's a huge hit.
It was like the first episode or something.
But did you believe it would really be a hit? Did you really think it would be this big?
Not as big as it is, no. It's pretty shocking. But yeah, at the time, it was like, I think 1 or 2 episodes had aired.
What had you done up until then? I mean, you weren't that well known, right?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I had done Unhappily Ever After. We talked about Bobcat Goldthwait.
Right, yeah, that's Kevin. Kevin has quite a sexual history. He was dating a very hot chick named Nikki Cox.
Yes.
And Bobcat Goldthwait stole her.
Swiped her out from her. Yeah. And then Jay Moore swiped her from him.
Is he now married to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a very hot chick. She is, in fact, I remember Artie met her once when he was working on the set of
I worked
the
with her
Norm
for
Show.
a year.
The Norm Show, yeah.
And she'd show up in like a 12-year-old boy's T-shirt, like one of those guinea T-shirts.
Right, the little
She would rehearse.
And she would distract the crew. They had to tell her to put some clothes on.
Fuck the
Did they really have to tell her to put clothes on?
No, well, no. What happened was, I worked with her for a full year, and she would rehearse. First of all, she had this enormous black guy who was her bodyguard.
Clay.
Clay. Yeah,
Who was she I mean, from you guys?
She had to have a bodyguard at all times.
She had stalkers.
She had a real, serious problem with a stalker years ago.
Okay.
And this guy is so intimidating, but she would show up. At the time, she was 21. And she would show up to rehearsal with like a 12-year-old boy's guinea T-shirt on.
Wow.
And fuck the crew. Me and Norm said, listen, we can't act as it is.
We're trying to act here.
I mean, I can't...
She might have been the reason that show got canceled.
That probably is right.
We had to switch our names in the cast to our real name. I originally had a different name.
Kevin, how devastating is it when you lose a girl like that to Bobcat Goldthwait?
It was not my finest. It's not one of my finest moments.
How did you tell
We've made
how
up
did-
since then.
How did you affect your working with him, though?
We did actually another year like that with them together. Yeah.
Ooh.
So.
Yikes.
How did she tell you?
I read it somewhere or something.
Oh,
Even
you're
worse.
kidding.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing.
And now she's dating Jay Moore.
She's married to Jay Moore, who's a nice guy. Listen, that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I've been to hell and back since then.
But was this going on behind your back for a while? Is that what you're saying?
Always assume that it is. If you think it's not, you're just in denial.
I'll have you know I will never
Whether
do
or
that
not
to
it
you,
was,
Kev.
yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Adrian gets lots of women. We're going to get
I
to
don't
his.
need your women.
We're going to get to your resume. I imagine it is not very difficult for you to get women. You're a good-looking dude. Sometimes I see Adrian at the gym. For a while, we were into this weird thing. We didn't even say hello to each other.
It was weird, right?
It was weird. Then I finally walked up to him. I said, "Why
did
are
that go on?
I go, I don't know. I mean, I forgot that Adrian was on the show, and I would have immediately gone up and said, you know, normally I don't bother anybody,
right?
But I passed him in the hall, and finally I said to him, "Hello."
It was an awkward hello, as I recall.
Yeah, because I was like, well, maybe I did something bad to this guy or something. I don't know.
What gym?
I think we were just trying to let
we go
each other. I mean, we were both like, you know,
Giving each other your space or something.
Yeah, but I didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother me.
I don't want to bother anybody, but it was good that we said
Besides, you're not a woman. Why should he bother with you?
Honestly, it's true. I thought it might be refreshing.
Why should he waste his time being charming to you?
All right, let me slow this down for a second. Because I got a lot to talk to you guys about. And Adrian will get to your list. But as long as Kevin started with
Let's start with Kevin, since we know him better.
Kevin, recently, though, and this is an important topic to bring up with you, you happened to be at the MTV Awards.
I was at the MTV. So was
when
Adrian.
Kid Rock, Adrian was there as well, but you were an eyewitness to Kid Rock and Tommy Lee fighting. It was reported in all the newspapers that Pam Anderson was there and Kid Rock and Tommy Lee got into a fight. What did you see that night? What was your eyewitness account?
Okay, now, I mean, I don't want to incriminate. I don't want to incriminate anybody. Am I going to get in trouble?
Are there charges?
Are there
charges? No, the truth will set you free. What did you see that night? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay. I saw, Kid Rock. We were all at one table. And, Adrian, you were there. You have an eyewitness account as well. Are you going to chime in?
You saw it too?
Yeah, we were both sitting there.
Yeah. Now, did the police interview you guys afterwards?
No.
They did not. Why not? Why wouldn't they interview you?
I don't think there have been any charges.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I was actually mesmerized by the performance on stage.
That's the one thing why most people didn't really see what was going on, because Alicia Keys was on stage and she was killing it.
Phenomenal.
Really, I find her a little boring.
Not this night. She was not.
She was good.
Nothing boring about what she was doing.
And she lost weight, did she not? She
just looked great. The performance, everything that she was doing was unbelievable. So all eyes were on her. Not to mention, we were right there, so she's like standing on top of us.
So why are these two fighting?
First of all, listen, I don't know Tommy at all. Kid Rock, to me, was like one of the coolest dudes. I could not believe it. I was very impressed with him. He just was like
He's a very nice
normal guy, you know, and he was sitting there, and I guess Tommy Lee came over.
Right.
And sat down sat next to him, and Kid Rock sort of, you know, just
dicked him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say
Was it a sucker punch?
No. Not that I saw.
Well, all right, let me take you through this. You're sitting at the table, you're minding your own business. Tommy Lee walks over to Kid Rock's table and plunks his ass down in the seat next to Kid Rock.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind is we're all sitting in our, Kid Rock is sitting in his assigned seat.
Right.
It's not like Kid Rock was looking for anything. That was his seat. He was there for 2 hours. He was there the whole night.
Tommy Lee walks over, sits down right next to him, which is going to be tough because here they were married to the same woman. A lot of mean things were said.
Did he say anything?
It looked to me like I don't think that Tommy Lee really even realized he did it. He
really?
did it.
And then Kid Rock
turned. And they had this look of like...
Did Kid Rock stand up or did he remain seated?
Tommy Lee stood up first, I believe. Kid Rock said something to him like, get the fuck out of here. Get up and get out of here. Something like that.
And then Kid Rock hauled off and punched him in the face.
That's how it looked to me, yeah.
Did Tommy say anything at all?
He didn't really have much time to say much of anything.
Did Tommy go down from the punch?
It happens. One thing, the other thing is the security there was amazing.
Yes.
Security. It was like a half a second.
Now, let me ask you something else. Did Kid Rock check the security before he took the punch?
And then Kid Rock, Kid Rock just got up and sort of walked out with a bunch of security guards. It was pretty...
Wow.
It was really one of the coolest things I've ever seen, to be totally honest with you.
To see Kid Rock punch Tommy Lee in the face was probably better than what was going on stage. While Adrian was staring at the stage, you got to see the real...
I'm a music lover.
You are.
I mean, I literally
caught
it out of the corner of my eye. But the funniest thing was then Puffy and all the rapper guys were like, and you got to stop violence and rock and roll.
But Kevin, you do like violence. You have been involved in fights.
I'm not. I was nothing.
Did you not punch Oil Air Brandon Davis in the face? Now everybody can't stand him. I mean, he is an obnoxious rich kid. Why did you punch him in the face? How did that occur?
Why not?
Right.
Honestly, he's I obviously dated Nikki for years, and they're
that's not obvious. You dated Nikki Hilton.
Right.
Now let me understand this. When you date one of the Hilton sisters,
Yeah.
That's a very wealthy girl, right?
Correct.
Does she pay for stuff?
No, well, no. I mean,
why should she pay for stuff?
Because she has more money than Kevin.
Take her out.
I mean, Kevin's making okay money. He's working for HBO. He ain't a millionaire. We know that HBO is very cheap.
Right. Well, they've been good with us.
Have been good. Adrian, have they been good with you?
They've been all right.
They've been all right. You're not. I don't see you doing any dancing.
I don't have anything to compare it to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now,
yeah. I mean, no. Listen. I mean, I earn enough living to where. Do I pay for dinner? Of course. You know, would I do that kind of stuff?
He used to have to compete financially with her a little bit. As I recall, he spent a lot of money on gifts because he had to sort of show her that
Kevin Dillon used to say, "You're setting the bar too high early, bro."
And you would hang out with Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton. That's got to be a great, fun scene for you, right?
Yeah, and you know, the whole family. They were always very nice to me. It'd be easy to sit here.
Where it shows, though, is like on vacations.
Correct. Well, no, not like that. They took me away for they took me away for Christmas vacation.
Money.
But her, that was her dad.
We could probably do a whole interview just on this aspect of your life because it's fascinating to bag one of these Hilton sisters and
hang around in the whole thing. Yeah,
they're nice. They're actually really nice girls.
Would you
they hate me now.
Did they hate you now? Why do they hate you now?
Well, no. I mean, it's gotten better. I mean, they hated me for a while. But
why? Because you broke up?
Yeah. I mean, we just had an ugly breakup. But
why did she think you were going to marry her?
She thought a lot of things, but we're friendly now.
Why did you break up? It seems like a good situation. Attractive girl, money, the whole thing.
You know, we were together for a long time, and some things just run their course, you know?
Yeah. How
run their course, huh?
When you start banging her, was this before Entourage?
Actually, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So
did you have to choose between the sisters? I mean, you go out. Do you have to say, should I go for Paris or Nikki?
No.
Who's got the tighter vagina, Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton?
Oh dear.
Come on, let's get that.
Dear.
Who's tighter? Who's better in bed?
Very good friends.
Who's better in bed? Nikki Cox or Nikki Hilton? You go to a girl. You go into an island. They say to you, the only thing you can bring.
You get one Nikki. Which
that
one
would be a tough one.
You go with Cox or Hilton?
That would be a tough one.
It would.
That would be a tough one.
Well, what's your choice? I'm giving you Schindler's List now.
Honestly, the other thing, Nikki Cox, it was so long. I mean, it was literally. Like
so you would take Nikki Hilton over Nikki Cox?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I would take Nikki Hilton. There's a chance Nikki Cox might blurt out 𝙝𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙙 acting.
You mean if she blurts out 𝙝𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙙 act, you would throw up?
Yeah.
That's very, very mean. So. You'll never reveal which one goes the extra mile.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. Honestly,
who's
Nikki
more
Cox,
loving?
I don't remember.
Who's more loving?
That's a tough one too.
Well, look, you've seen One Night in Paris,
neither of them are loving.
No, they both are. Listen, honestly, I get along pretty well with both of them at this point. Nikki Cox and I, are really, and Jay Moore too. Jay Moore's a good guy.
But wait a minute, Kevin. You've seen One Night in Paris.
I actually haven't seen One Night in Paris, but I'm friends with Rich Solomon's a friend of mine.
Is that
Rich Solomon's an old friend of mine.
Is he a nice guy?
Very nice guy.
And what do you think of him marrying Pam Anderson?
I think he seems happy. Really, really.
You think that's real?
I don't think it's real. I know it's real. He's a good friend of mine.
Did there come a time when you saw both of the Hilton sisters naked together?
No.
That never happened. Never happened. You never saw them nude.
No.
Did there come a time when you found yourself attracted to Paris? It was a very attractive girl.
Right. Well, but I actually met Nikki through Paris, so Paris and I have been friends for a long time. But
did you try to get Paris and didn't work out?
No, she was always dated Rick.
Adrian, I think, banged her a couple of times, right? Adrian,
I want to see if let's hear this.
Good for you. I mean, I would do that in a minute. How was that for you?
Well, I haven't, but
you haven't.
I imagine it'd be great.
You made out with her a little bit?
Never.
Nothing sexual. It was rumored that you were doing her, right?
We have a very professional relationship, in fact.
Why would you have a professional relationship with her?
Well, because I'm making a documentary about the media, and she has a very intimate
role.
Yeah, she does. So it's a natural
Good looking
subject.
as you are, she didn't come on to you at all? Come on, let's be serious.
I mean, we flirt, of course.
Of course, yes, absolutely. I'm going to get to your documentaries in a second. Let's get through Kevin's fights in sexual history first.
Yeah, because you got right off of him socking the guy. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how we got off that. So when you punch this Brandon Davis character, who is a very, I guess, obnoxious guy, what happens there? Why would you punch him in the face?
I
like that.
The thing, it's always the people around those girls that I had the biggest problem with. He's all right now. He just at the time was just going through, I guess, some problems. I mean, obviously
his substance abuse problems.
Whatever the case is. I just think that at that time he was going through a bad period, and I just was like,
was he rude
grouchy.
to your girlfriend?
No.
Was that why you punched him?
No, he was being rude to me and just about. And I just
what would someone say to you to get you that ticked off?
We were just at work and we worked late and I showed up and I just was like sober. I was like, everybody else was like kind of drunk and I was just kind of sitting there and I don't know. He was
going to prove to the crowd that he's going to show everyone how hip he is by insulting you.
He was insulting everybody.
I see. Yeah.
But since then.
And then you walk up to him with a closed fist and you just smack him right in the head, right?
Well, not really.
I like that.
This story's gotten better with time, but
Did you knock him out?
No.
What did he do? Did he cry?
Was it as cool as Chris Rock and Tommy Lee?
It was
Kid Rock.
Or Kid Rock.
Unfortunately, it was not as cool as the Kid Rock Tommy Lee thing.
Have you done that a lot in your real life?
What?
Punch someone in the face?
No.
Do you ever have to go to anger management?
No.
Never had to do that.
That's never been a thing.
All right, now what about the time you punched out pro skateboarder Chad Muska at a club after...
Where do you guys get this?
He made a crack about Nikki, your girlfriend, Nikki Hilton.
Right.
And you punched him out. That's very manly. What happened there?
Chad's actually a good friend of mine.
And you punched him out?
No, but he was out of control.
He was out of
control. But he's apologized.
What did he
say?
Stupid. Tell me what he said.
I mean, I shouldn't be saying this. But what? Yeah, I mean, this is satellite, right? We can say whatever.
You can say whatever you want.
He was in the DJ booth and he was like blurting things out to everybody for everybody to hear. Like, Nikki, I want to
suck your tits. Vagina.
Yeah, something like that.
Nikki, I want to suck your vagina.
Is that what the DJs say now?
The C word?
No, the
P word?
P word? Pussy.
Yes.
All right, let me help you with this because we're playing Mad Libs. Make sure, right. You're saying
like...
he yelled out over the loudspeaker.
Not over the loudspeaker, out to the crowd.
Nikki, I want to suck your pussy. That
Correct.
set you off.
Wow.
I mean, would it not?
Honestly, I would like to suck Nikki's pussy. Don't punch me.
But the worst thing is, he and I are friendly. I mean, I got him on Entourage.
Right.
He was the guy that Kevin Dillon beats up his the car with the golf club.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
So I'm the one that got him that job. So he and I are friendly, but it was just one of those things, you know.
All right.
We were fine like a couple weeks ago.
Right. But once you gave him the shot in the face, he calmed himself down, and that was the end of that.
Right.
Boy, good for you.
And then he called, and like the next day, he like apologized, and I could have handled that differently, obviously. Where
did you punch him? In the nose or in the jaw? Be more specific.
It was through a little crack in a window. I don't even know.
You just landed one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very manly. I mean, I respect
your fist goes right through the window and connects with whatever's on the other side.
No, it was a cutout. It was a cutout.
Adrian, are people jealous of you? I mean, here you are on Entourage, and you're really a very handsome guy. You know that. You're a leading man type with the good looks. Do you find that other men are resentful of you? I wouldn't want to hang out with you. I know I...
He wouldn't even talk to you at the gym.
Exactly. I would be very hideous standing next to you. I like to hang out with uglier guys than me, and that's not easy to find.
How do you think we got the job back?
Do you find that problem?
Honestly, the guys that I hang out with aren't. They're, not really superficial like that, and they do all right with the ladies.
He's got the same friends for a while, too.
Right. So you have these friends, and you're this good-looking guy growing up. Did you start very young with your sexual resume? I would imagine that the girls were all over you early on.
They were, but I was a late bloomer.
But you had a power over women, did you not? Did you recognize it? I'm being serious.
Were you an ugly duckling, or were you always
this kid was never
cute?
Ugly. Give me a break. How old were you when you got started in show business?
I was about 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
And were you the best-looking kid at the high school? I'll bet you female teachers came on to you.
No, I wish.
Never happened to you?
Never.
What about male teachers? I could see that too, right?
Yeah,
guys hit on you, right?
Occasionally, I'll have to, let them know that I'm not that way.
Right. So you get into show business at 18, and what's the first job you land?
Well, I didn't get my first job until I got serious with acting around 21, and that was driving me crazy. It was like I got two roles, actually, an independent called The Adventures of Sebastian Cole, and Drive Me Crazy.
And you get into show business, you get on this show, Entourage, and things really break for you. Not only a good-looking dude, but you're on a hit show, right? This is very, very big in Hollywood. I mean, I can't imagine there's a party that you don't go to where you don't get laid.
Well, that's the show.
Yeah. That's the show, but I'm talking about real life. In a way, is it getting boring already? Like there's no chasing? I mean, have you ever been turned down by a woman? Well, especially in the last couple of years?
I mean, the thing about it is people expect me to be Vince.
Right.
They want me to be. I mean, they fantasize about my life. So I almost have to put it on for them a little bit in order to satisfy.
For example, you're dating a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model right now. This is very exciting to me. I mean, it really is exciting. The name is Melissa Keller. For 2 years you've been banging her? Do I have that right or am I lying?
We've been hanging out for a couple of years, yeah.
And when they say on and off, that means you can...
Oh, you take time off?
Yeah, they take time off.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's so wrapped up in you.
So
now,
anytime you meet somebody else, you take time off.
On and off.
You know what's so great about
I'm not married.
No, you're not married, but what is the move? How do you convince a girl to be on and off? Is it that... I mean, this is a girl who could get any guy she wants. This is
pretty much.
Full, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And you can even treat her shitty and go, you know, well, let's be honest. You can go out and bang a few broads and then say, okay, I'm ready to come back to you. This is a wonderful, wonderful story. And I would like to hear more about it.
No, You're ready to be on again.
Yeah. How do you meet a broad like this?
When you get lonely, you know.
Right. How'd you meet a girl? You've seen her, obviously.
She worked on Entourage. I was there when they met.
Oh, is that the move?
I was standing right there when they met.
In fact, I took a step back and let Connolly hit on her first.
I both.
He couldn't close, so I had to come in.
Was it love at first sight on the set? I mean, how does this work?
I actually really did find her extremely interesting in
the van ride. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Where you take a van to the set.
Yes.
From where we were shooting at the Earth Cafe, and you know, we pile into the van, and you could just see him. He was kind of
these two.
He was zoning.
They're the two best looking people in the van, and there's no reason we shouldn't make love.
Right.
You just leave them alone when that
happens.
No,
I mean, and he was putting on the full court press. It was very obvious.
I've been in that position before in show business where you got to make the ugly people small talk. You know, while the two good-looking people they do whatever
Isn't
they do.
it great being the background to their romance?
And you got to be like, did you see the game last night? You want to go?
I remember in college, my roommate Lou was a good-looking guy, medical student, the whole deal, and I would always be in the background while he met the new girl.
Small talk.
Yeah, it was really great. You know,
was she the broad who was the waitress at the Earth Cafe? Am I thinking of this correctly? Then when she played the waitress,
Season 3, Episode 1.
She was a waitress.
No, she wasn't.
Kevin, did you beat off to this girl? I bet you did. I bet you went home and beat off to her.
But I did. I was campaigning for him to get with her.
How long does it take you? Like she's obviously trained on you and fixated because you're the star of the show, and she.
Oh, it's because he's the star of the show, not because he has any particular charm or.
What girl do you know cares about charm? So, how long does it take before the two of you become lovers?
She actually was quite flaky. I called her several times, and she
smart.
And good move.
Yeah, good move. Now, how do you So let's say you're going out a few months, and then you decide, look, you know, I need to break up with you right now. Do you tell her did you actually have a phone call or an in-person meeting where you say it's time to break up, or is it just unsaid?
Well, it's not so much of a breakup. I mean, it's just about, you know, not really knowing whether or not you want to make that commitment, that full. So when she reads in the paper commitment.
But when she reads in the paper you're out with some other girl, does she say, "Okay, that's it, we're off now"? That's it.
You know, the papers always lie. Come on.
But how do you tell her when it's time to start up again? Like, that's got to be a weird move. You know what I mean? Or
he's mastered it.
There's no protocol. It's if you just, you know, open up and be honest and
that's right.
Talk about how you feel.
So are you on or off now?
Yeah, where are you at now? Robin needs to know.
Where are you right now?
Where are you at?
That's a very good question.
Oh, are you on or off?
I think we're on.
Oh, you're not sure though.
No, I think we're on. Well, I'm in New York, so.
Oh, we've got the.
Does she live in New York?
You're on
She's
in
LA.
California.
Oh, do you two argue about it? Is it a source of because it sounds to me like she's dating you and you're on and off again?
No, you know, I'm very open. Like, you know, she can do whatever she has to do to find what she needs
to find. If you saw her with another guy, you'd have a hard time.
Would you be upset? Yeah.
I work on my jealousy, but I'm not a very jealous person.
Do you love
by
her?
nature.
Are you in love with her?
I don't really know what that means.
You know what it means.
I don't.
Oh
you
my
in love
God!
With her?
I'm a very philosophical person. We can talk all day about definitions.
Ah, boy, that's cold stuff. Man.
Yeah, really.
I'm heartless.
Well, you've got a great resume. Let me brag for you.
What's on his list?
Well, I question some of these women.
All right.
Kirsten Dunst, you had sex with.
Why? No.
She's okay, but you're much. You could do much better, is what I'm saying. Did anyone ever say that to you while you were dating her? That you could do much better?
Why are you with her?
I didn't date her.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Never had sex with her?
No.
What about Melissa Joan Hart?
No.
Never had sex? Because I was going to say, you're way. She's not even in your league.
See, like I'm saying, people want me to be Vince, but I'm not.
But you're not. You've actually got it under control. Did you bang?
That's the story. Those are the stories that they sew about me.
When you appeared in a Britney Spears video, did you have sex with her?
No.
Wow. Well, look at the self-control you have.
Wait a minute. So not while the video was going on, but after?
Well, she was quite young at the time.
Oh, was she?
By the way, Adrian's got a pretty interesting story. He did a documentary about...
I saw that documentary.
I never saw the documentary, but I heard you interviewed about it, and it's kind of a sad story.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad were hippies, and they lived on some commune.
Yeah.
And then when you were like 6 years old, I guess your dad split, and you never saw him again. And you weren't even sure he was your dad because everyone in the commune was screwing each other so much that they weren't even sure.
It was a question.
And you did a documentary to go find your real dad. And this was before you were in Entourage. This had to be very, very painful to you. Do you think this is why you can't commit to the Sports
and
Illustrated swimsuit?
And you don't know what love is.
Yeah, is that a whole thing?
Yeah, I think that definitely has something to do with it.
And then when you finally located your father,
the music.
He rejected you, right? Didn't he?
Did he reject me? No, actually.
But his wife did.
You haven't seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
You ought to see it.
I want to see it.
That's
but I'm
kind of
asking you a question. Didn't your father's wife say, "Don't come around here anymore"?
Well, she was a little threatened by me. Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't want to give the movie away, but
give it away.
Give it away. It's the biological offspring of the man you're with, of your husband, person you love.
When your father's wife met you, did she just say, "Screw this, I'm going to bed with you," because you were so good looking?
That'll show him.
Yeah.
Now there's a movie.
That's a good movie. So when you met with your father, were you bitter and angry? Did you say, "How the fuck can you have a kid and never ever want to see him"? Did you say that?
Well, the thing about the movie is I didn't really have any feelings about my dad, and everybody around me told me, "Oh, you must be bitter, you must be angry," and they would do the whole sob story thing. And in fact, I had a great life. My mother was extremely strong. She was a sufficient fatherly figure.
I think you're kidding yourself. I think you're in denial. Well, I think that there had to be some hole in your heart that there's a man out there who's my father and he's alive and he doesn't want to see me.
Weren't you happy to meet him?
Why were you searching for him if you didn't care?
Well, I was curious.
Why were you curious if you didn't care, if you had such a great life?
Well, because I was looking for something.
You were looking for
look
something.
Up to.
You were looking for something.
Sure.
Of course.
But, you know, ironically, there was a father figure in my life who, you know, because he wasn't my biological father, never felt obligated to stay around.
Right.
And he was the one who I actually felt most abandoned by.
He split too on you. Everyone splits on you.
Yeah. Well, no, he because
I see a kid like you, I wouldn't split on you. I say, this kid's a cash machine. If I get him in the movies.
You know, but the parents never know. They're the last
father?
to know.
Sure. Why not? So, when
you know, I did see the movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And I got to say that it opens at Father's Day at Yankee Stadium, right?
Go Yankees.
Right, exactly. So just that sentence means so much to me. Father's Day at Yankee Stadium. That evokes all these emotions in me. And I do feel on some level that, you know, if you don't understand that, you were robbed of something. And the other thing I got, and I mean, the beginning of it, you're clearly curious. You're asking all these guys with their fathers in Yankee Stadium. And the other thing I realized, this guy who was your father figure was clearly annoyed that you were trying to find this other guy. Is that the case, or did I misinterpret? He looked like he was pissed off that, you know, after this guy wasn't around, all of a sudden he's getting all this attention.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean,
that would piss me off.
He seemed aggravated. Right. There's a great scene where they're eating dinner together.
He was jealous,
it's a very real thing, and he's like, he
he's
wasn't there for
put
this.
all this time into you, and now you're busy looking for this other guy.
Well, that's why you shouldn't even bother.
Right.
It was interesting.
And ironically, my biological father, had he been around, probably wouldn't have taken me to a Yankees game.
Right.
What is the name of that movie? I'm going to watch it.
Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark. I will see it. Because,
yeah, it's good. It's well done. Yeah.
That has to be a very painful thing to go looking for your father on film. It's a good idea, though. I got to say, that's a real cool idea. Tell most of us, though, what it's like, because most people don't care about anything else but vagina. Tell us what it was like when you had a threesome with 2 models. What was that like for you? You,
And
yeah.
I had a threesome with two
It says,
models.
according to the New York Post, Adrian had a threesome
Well, how would they know?
with two models from the website doubleagent.com at the Sundance Film Festival in 2006.
Oh, you did it at a film festival.
Now do you
That's-
remember?
That's the tabloid media for you.
You know, there's
You're
two
saying
players in the
that
room.
Page
and you-
Documentary about that.
You are saying
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Page 6 is lying?
your fucking glasses.
We have tape of it. There you are.
You know, there's two players in the room. When you ask that question, they don't know who you're referring
Which
to.
one of us is he talking about?
I'm saying they're speculating.
So you
I
did,
mean, basically, I think they mentioned some sort of sex toy business.
yes, they
Right.
did. Right. So you
Yeah.
think it was just a publicity thing?
It's a publicity thing. I mean, I actually did go into, at Sundance, they give you a lot of free things.
Right.
And I went in, and there were these two girls, and we were all talking about the toys and having fun and joking around. And then we left with bags of stuff, and they put,
But you
they
have
made the
had.
assumption
But they also
that,
plugged their store.
right,
you've
they
had
plugged it, so
three-ways,
they made,
true?
They made the assumption that
But you've had three ways.
I've done my fair share of experimenting in my
Kevin, you too?
Yeah.
You've had three ways too. Everyone is out there having three ways.
Have either
You,
of
Bobcat, and Nick.
have you ever done it with two guys and a girl?
No.
Adrian, have you ever done it with two guys and a girl?
I think at one point I tried at one, but my
happened, didn't it?
friend was a little too excited and it made me nervous.
It is weird to be in a room, I imagine. I've never had a threesome with two guys, and a lot of guys on this show have. It's got to be weird to see your friend there nude, and he could even accidentally shoot a load on you.
How about a
Is it
stranger?
It was awkward.
Right. So you did it, but it was hard for you.
I did not ultimately go through with it.
Really? You backed out?
I don't
Yeah.
believe that's true. I'm going to bring in a lie detector on that one. I think you
I'll
did
take
go through
it.
it.
I'll take it.
Let's go to who the heck is on the phone. All right, let's say hi to Kevin from Manhattan. We are here with the boys from Entourage. Are we just celebrating Entourage or something new?
The Entourage coffee table book.
Where's the plug for that? Entourage coffee
There's a
table
coffee
book.
table
There's a
book?
coffee table book.
Oh, I see here. The book Entourage, A Lifestyle is a Terrible Thing to Waste, is in stores now. Do you guys get a cut of this action?
No.
Why are you pushing
HBO
it then?
again.
Well, because, we're team players.
Oh.
And they asked us to come out here, and Adrian's getting a call.
Oh, who's calling?
It's my alarm.
Adrian and
I'm
Kevin
supposed to be waking up right now, not 3 hours prior.
Adrian and Kevin will be signing copies of the book this morning at 10:30 at the HBO shop on 6th Avenue, Manhattan, and this afternoon at 1 o'clock at Borders at Columbus Circle. And girls, I would really recommend you get down there and try to have sex with these guys.
Is everybody hooked up right now, Kevin? Are you dating someone again? Or
I'm sort of,
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm on and off.
How about the broad on the show?
I never know how to work on and off. I really do wish you guys would come clean and explain on and off to me, because
It's just a hard
I
life,
feel guilty. I mean, I'm like, you know what? If I'm on with somebody, I'm on with them. That's it. And then I'm off permanently. I don't know how you keep coming in and out and get the girl hooked into that whole rhythm.
Sometimes it's not always the guy. Sometimes it's the girl that's doing the on and off thing.
Really? Well, no one's doing that with me.
Girls are the new guys.
That's right.
Girls are the new guys.
I have enough time arranging the on part. I'm not that anxious to get on the off part. All right, let's go to Kevin in Manhattan. Kevin.
Hey, Howard, how are you? Just two quick things. I met Kevin at a club called The Pool in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
And, Kev, I saw you with some smoking hot broads. Did anything come of that? We were very jealous, me and my friends.
Remember that night?
Yes, I do remember that night, bro. You guys were great.
You
By the
remember
way,
it. We're wondering if Kevin does.
On the phone, did he punch you when he saw you?
No, but I have a theory about that, too, Howard. That was my second point. Much like the caller said last week with Howie, with Artie, with the New Jersey attitude. Kevin is a typical Irish boy from Long Island, because I'm an Irish guy from Long Island. We're the same way. You cross us, and that's it. It's all over. It's game on right away.
That's all. You punch someone, and that's it. I mean, listen, I would punch people, too, but I'm too much of a
You're
pussy.
afraid.
That's why I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'll get beat up.
I grew up with Irish families who will beat the shit out of each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Did your family beat the shit out of each other a
No,
lot?
I mean, my brother is actually a cop in Suffolk County. He's a detective, so and he's big. He's much far bigger than I am, so that was never really much of a match. So
Right.
I would never want to do that. But no, the
I'm
Atlantic
a
City
typical
thing.
Jewish guy from Long Island. I sue people all the time. Constantly, I bring them into court. Yeah.
The Atlantic City thing was fun. It was a good. That was a good Kevin.
That was a
Kevin
great
Dillon
night. Great
yeah,
night,
it was a
bro.
Good time.
So you remember these girls?
Yeah, no, they were nice girls.
Yeah, and do you keep in touch with them? Are you on and off again with them?
I keep in touch with them, though. I actually do keep in touch with one of the girls I met that night.
Yeah.
Let's go to Amy. Amy, you're on the air in Baltimore.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even believe I'm talking to you. I've been calling for 10 years. Howard, Robin, I love you. Artie, I love you. And you guys, I love the show. I want to know if you really smoke weed on that show. And if you don't, what is it that you smoke?
It's not weed.
It's not real weed. You can't smoke real weed.
It's at 7:30 in the morning.
Besides the fact that it's illegal.
Do you guys do weed in real life? Do you like smoking weed?
I did years ago. It kind of faded.
Adrian, you're not into weed?
I do, but I don't inhale.
Let's go to Jamie. Jamie in Worcester, Mass. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Hey.
One word for Massachusetts. Anyway, hey, Nikki Clark, did she have big tits back when you dated her, or did
Kevin, that's a legitimate question. When you were dating Nikki Cox, did she have big boobs?
Yes.
She did.
Yes.
Were they fake?
No.
They were not. They were real.
No, they ain't fake.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, oh, my God, Howard.
What's it like when you the first time you get inside a girl like that? You say, oh, my God, let me pinch myself. Acting was the right career. I'm meeting these hot chicks.
Yeah.
You do.
Basically. And she was obviously way out of my league, especially at that time. She was unbelievable. And, at the time, I mean, seriously, she was like one of the most beautiful girls.
Why isn't she the biggest star in the world? If she's that hot?
She was at that time, like the hottest, one of the hottest girls.
When you first got her, how old was she?
Howard.
Like 17.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Look at you.
Howard.
Did you have anal sex with her?
No.
You did not have anal sex. 17's young for anal sex.
It is young, yes.
Robin was handling anal
together.
sex. How old were you in your first anal sex?
I was 25.
25. Yeah, you need to be with a 25-year-old to introduce that kind of
No,
food.
because by the time I met her, she was only 21, and that would have been in the... And
was she dating Bobcat?
Yeah, she dated Bobcat. Used to come by our set all the time. But I had an awful, I had an awful relationship with her because, like, this big black guy who she was around all the time. He overheard me say the N-word.
Oh,
but
Why would that upset him?
But I was saying it as a joke.
That's
different. No. Honestly, he was a black guy with green eyes.
It's a joke.
He was a black guy with green eyes.
All right, let's...
And you know the expression, he gets more pussy than a green-eyed N-word?
Hello?
Yes.
I don't know
We answered the question, Jamie.
Are you the Irish guy? I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
Celeste is on the phone. She says she'll have an orgasm if she talks to Adrian and Kevin. Go ahead, Celeste.
Oh, God. Oh, God. No, I can't believe you guys are on there. I'm so happy.
Is Celeste the older woman?
Celeste, let me ask you something. Are you touching yourself right now?
Masturbating.
Are you in your wheelchair?
No.
Do you want the guys to talk dirty to you?
Yeah.
Would you actually orgasm on the air?
Oh, yeah.
You would. She doesn't sound bad.
Oh, please.
No.
I don't hear you orgasming. You guys, say something sweet
Celeste.
and sexy. Go ahead. Talk to her.
Adrian,
please.
you talk to her about it.
Adrian, go ahead.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi.
Nice. Very orgasmic.
Celeste, get into it with Adrian. Come on. Let's go.
He loves this stuff.
Celeste, what do you dream of doing to him?
I dream of sucking his cock.
Oh, God.
Right to the point.
Right to the point.
Adrian, describe your penis to Celeste so that we can hear her have an orgasm. Is it long and thin or more beer can-ish?
It's
Adrian's getting hard. I can attest to that.
It's like John Leslie's perfect cock. I put my mouth on the tip. And
Well, I'm blushing.
Go on,
I'm uncomfortable personally.
Adrian, are you uncomfortable with phone sex?
On the radio, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you guys, I didn't know you were
I haven't
such
gone
prudes.
that far out there
Well,
yet.
pretend you're in a scene. If I told you were on Entourage right now and there was a woman on the phone who you had to have phone sex
Yeah,
with,
you're
could you do
madly
it?
in love with a girl who's traveling.
I mean, certainly you can't do that for my audience and let these people have an orgasm. Very selfish of the two of you. I'm a little...
I'm not good at improv.
Right, let's go to
I just
Rich.
froze up.
Rich, go ahead.
I wanted to help her. I wanted to help her. I just froze up.
Yeah, Kevin, are you...
And by the way, Celeste, I will give you
19-year-old?
Wait, say again, Rich?
Yeah, I was wondering, is it true that Kevin's banging that hot 19-year-old from Dancing with the Stars, Juliana?
If you are, I want to smell your fingers. Are you dating the girl from Dancing with the Stars?
Which girl is
the
that?
The blonde, the young 19. Are you son of a bitch? She's my fave.
I met her, and I mean, I just met her.
You banged her?
I just met her, but she's amazing.
Are you going out with her?
I've gone out with her a couple times, yeah.
Oh, my
Oh, you motherfucker.
Well, I love this guy wants to pleasure himself.
Punch me in the face because I'm about to say something.
No, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Wait a second. Hold it a second. You're dating the blonde chick?
I didn't say I'm dating. Don't
that chick has the greatest. That chick has the greatest body I've ever seen.
She's the most amazing thing I've met in years.
I would marry her.
Is she a dancer or is she a contestant, Howard? I don't know.
She is a professional dancer.
Oh.
She's 19.
Who's she dancing with? The soap opera guy?
The race car driver.
Oh, the race car driver.
The race car driver, who I think is trying to get in her pants, too.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not
How
sure,
did you get a date with her?
I met her out, and I just met her somewhere. And funny, ironically enough, she said, "You want to dance?" I said, "I don't dance." I didn't know that she was. And then I watched the show. I was like, "Wow, now I really don't dance." But I've gone out with her a couple times, and yeah, I mean,
where do you take a girl like that?
No, we went out to dinner a couple times or something.
Oh, look at you! You take her to dinner, huh? Then where do you go? Back to your Malibu
your
pad?
bachelor pad?
You got a bachelor pad? What kind of pad you got?
I got a house. What a house?
You got a little house going, huh?
Yeah, I got a
Look
nice
at
little
you,
house.
son of a bitch! I didn't know you were in that league, man. I bow to you.
Listen, she's fantastic, and I'm actively pursuing her, but who knows?
What do you mean? Is she seeing some other dudes? Are you on and off
I don't
again?
know. I mean, I'm just trying to,
What do? You kick your roommates out for the night?
I don't have any roommates.
You got your own place?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I would hope to have their own joint by now.
Adrian, have you met her yet?
I haven't.
I was just telling him about her in there, though.
He hasn't brought her to meet the family yet.
Do you watch Dancing with the Stars at all?
I've never seen the show.
How did he know? Is that caller? Is that caller still
I
on
hung
there?
up on him.
How did he know? How did they know? I didn't know anybody.
Look
probably
at
like
you.
soccer.com
But I like
or
her.
something.
How do you meet a chick like that? You're
I
at the
just met
club.
her. I met her out.
Where are you out that you meet her?
I met her at Hyde.
Hyde.
That's
a club?
It's a club, yeah. That's like the...
Son of a gun.
He actually he picks up women in clubs.
I see how they know. There's a picture of
But
you
this
and
girl
her
is
in Us Weekly.
It's not in Us Weekly, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. This girl is a 10. She is a 10. She is a perfect...
She's a perfect 10.
She's a perfect...
I'm going to tell you something.
She's fantastic.
I think she might be a 12.
She might
if there's
be.
such a thing.
Yeah. No, but...
Is she
honestly,
a moron or is she kind of
She's
bright?
the sweetest, smartest... I mean, she's perfect.
He's really laying it on thick, isn't he?
Yeah, but
he did say
he must
he was
not have banged her
actively
yet.
pursuing.
I'm actively...
Yeah.
That's the way it is. I'm
So
actively...
you haven't banged her yet?
No, of course not. I'm
What
actively...
do you mean, of course not? I would get her on one night. I would say, I must have you. This is it.
But I'm trying to, I like her. I do. I can't believe
Did she say she likes you?
I think, no. But I think she does. I think she might. A little bit.
Has she seen some other dudes, too?
I don't think so. I mean, who knows? Again, you have to... You
been
never put
speaking-
anything past anybody.
Do you speak to her
I've learned.
Do you speak to her on the phone every day?
Yeah.
You do? Oh,
I do.
Fuck.
No, she's great.
Who's hotter, her or Adrian's girl? The swimsuit model.
One thing Adrian and I always said, we like to... Thank God.
Different
we like,
types?
It's so far one way, and it's like ridiculous how different.
Yeah.
So it's been... It's
good.
Yeah, it's great for work because who we talk to, it's like
Yeah, I'm sure Adrian would throw up at the sight of this Dancing with the Stars.
The real opposite.
But generally,
You kissed her already?
No, I haven't.
You did. You're lying.
I mean, if he's calling her the smartest person in the world too, that's
No, I didn't say she's. I said that she's not by any means any dummy. She's
Right.
really like
You can have a
she's,
conversation
She's
with
with it. She's and she's very independent. And she's been dancing.
Is she American? Because most of those dancers are from somewhere else.
She's American. She can dance, boy.
Boy, and you should see, she's almost naked on this show.
She's great.
This girl's got some body, and she's a good dancer. Not that
She's a great dancer.
She's great, Howard. Not just good.
I hope she's not listening to this. This will be the end of my pursuing.
I would give it to her so hard. She wouldn't even know what hit her.
She's in bed with Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Oh, man. I would be...
No, she's yeah.
I would give it to her very hard and very fast. Good for you. Good for you, man. I got to tell you, that's a major score.
Now I got to watch this fucking show to see.
Yeah, you got to
See this
No,
girl?
you have
See,
to
I
watch.
don't
You
even
have to
know
watch
who
the
it
show
is.
for her.
Yeah, it's true.
And vote for her.
I never even see the guy she's dancing with.
Are you voting? That's really in love.
I'm voting.
I would vote for her.
You got to vote.
Hey, guys, put up a picture of her. Find some picture of her on the internet.
You have to vote.
What's that chick's name? I don't even know.
Julianne.
Julianne.
Oh, if you vote for her, she better bang.
I vote. I vote anyway.
Better for
and
you.
I actually went to a Dance with the Stars
See,
taping.
now that's an
Listen to me.
episode of Entourage.
Vote against her. Better for you if she loses.
Not.
You want to take her down a little bit, right?
She's not going to lose anytime soon. She's not going off the show anytime soon. Put it that
Adrian,
way.
you better get in there with some sex stories. Kevin's blowing you out of the water. I never expected it to go
He's
this
the
way.
real Vince.
He
Nobody
really is.
knows this, but it's the truth.
Look at you. I hail you.
He's been at it longer. He's more experienced.
Does your brother, the cop, go nuts from all these chicks you're banging? He must be like, I got to get out
Do you
there.
bring these girls home?
Yeah, I've brought them all home at some point.
Oh,
to
my
Massapequa.
goodness,
They
really?
go back to my mom's.
Poor brother's probably got to beat off to some of these chicks. Poor guy, working his ass off as a cop.
Your dad, what does your dad say?
Dad punched him in the face.
My dad passed away a long time ago, but he'd be proud of you.
He didn't see this success.
He would be proud of you.
He would be proud, I'm guessing.
This one is a keeper. Unless she's a royal pain in the ass.
She's not at all. And you know the thing is what the hours on that show are insane, and we work long hours. And I know what long hours are.
Yeah.
These people, it's insane because the dancers decide, the stars
routines.
decide how long they work. So if Mark Cuban decides, hey, I want to rehearse today for 10 hours, they have to do that.
Wow.
Or I have to go here on business and I want to dance during the day, they have to go with.
Where's your dad buried?
Long Island.
You give me the location. I'm going to go over with pictures of this girl. Your
You
father's
gonna
grave.
put him on the grave?
I want him to see. Part of me believes he needs to see.
Hopefully he's watching.
He's with you. He's with you.
Quick, cue that music. Cue that music.
I got a feeling you banged this chick.
Wow. But I do like her, though.
What is it, Ralph?
Is she going to be scared?
I think what he's saying, he likes the fact she works long hours so she doesn't bother him too much.
No, it's not true. I wish she didn't work as many hours. She's tough to...
He can't hook up with her.
Ralph, you know which chick he's talking about?
Yeah, she's hot.
Oh, okay. Get off.
She's not a 10,
You're officially
Ralph?
gay.
Wait a minute, Ralph.
Get Ralph out of here.
Officially gay.
Listen, you could go to Scores.
No, you couldn't. Ralph, you got the worst taste.
Ralph, you're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. I back you up.
Let me ask you,
Ralph
is
off the
she
line.
not, what is she? She's not a 10, Ralph?
She's a 12.
Ralph, if this girl was standing in here, you would not know what to do with this.
Oh, believe me, he'd be beating on her.
He'd be trying to cut off her dress.
And I swear to God, I'm not just saying this, but personality-wise,
a 10
makes her a 15.
Jesus.
What's so great about her personality?
Do you know her, Ralph?
No,
what are you talking about?
I don't know.
What are you
He
talking
knows
about?
her.
I think Kevin's going to punch Ralph.
Get
This is
Ralph.
great.
He's going to punch Ralph through the
Ralph
phone.
better watch it, Ralph. Watch it, Ralph.
Don't speed in Suffolk County, Ralph.
All right, thank you, Ralph.
Wait, I didn't tell you what I was calling. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
All right,
All
go
right,
ahead.
so listen, I'm a fan of the show from the beginning. I used to be a bigger fan. I think, I know you guys don't write the show, but the problem with the show is it's getting too bogged down with like this Ari stuff, and it should just be about you guys running out and banging chicks like you're doing.
Well, you know...
who cares about his gay assistant and his boyfriend? There was a whole show about that. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Look, here's the thing. When you do a TV show and you do a lot of episodes, there's going to be times where people are going to be heavy and people are going to be light. And look, Piven's won back-to-back Emmys. I mean, to deny
What
the guy...
about that? Why are you guys not winning Emmys? What's going on here, Adrian?
We're the straight
We're
men.
not very...
Kevin Dillon should win an Emmy.
Kevin Dillon
is
should
amazing.
definitely win.
I
He
totally
should definitely.
agree.
He got robbed. But,
You
know,
guys going to get into movies or what? That's where the real action is.
Adrian's been in movies.
What
are
movies you
talking
been
about?
in, Adrian?
I took a break this year because I'm making another doc.
He was in The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh,
Wasn't
that was a good
role,
movie.
It was
I
a great
love
movie.
that movie.
Yeah.
It was a great movie,
Yeah.
but they made you too whiny. You were just like, you know.
That was
Yeah,
a
he was
massive
kind of
hit.
a passive, almost
Yeah, you were like a
girly
whiny
boy.
bitch. You're like, eh.
Let's talk about whining.
Is this Ralph?
That's
Ralph
Ralph.
doesn't like other
Hey,
whiners.
Ralph, take it easy over there, buddy.
Well, Adrian's an actor. He doesn't create the part in the sense that he writes it.
He doesn't write it. He
Yeah.
looks at the lines. He does the thing.
Yeah,
does
it was, it's just, I didn't like seeing him in that role. It wasn't good.
Oh, thanks, Ralph.
It wasn't a good role for you.
Adrian, what about Kevin? What's on tap? Now you got the Entourage fame. What are you guys going to do?
I did it. I'm actually working on a movie right now called He's Just Not That Into You. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
Jen
yeah.
Aniston.
Oh, yeah,
Is that a big problem in Hollywood? Everyone's always saying to you, like, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? Nothing's ever good enough. You know what I mean, Adrian? Is there pressure here?
There is a lot of pressure, but I don't really listen to that. I'm actually doing something quite contrary to what people want me to do. I'm making a documentary. It's kind of obscure,
And that's what he does. He's good at it. And he'll do it.
Well, with
his
you
next one will
guys,
be
I
good.
never say, what are you doing next? I would say, who are you doing next? So you know what I mean? But I'm excited for you. The book Entourage, A Lifestyle is a Terrible Thing to Waste, is in stores now. All right, here quickly for your edification, Robin. Here is the Howard TV guys have pictures of Kevin dancing with the Dancing with the Stars girl. There she
Oh,
is.
she's very cute.
Look at that.
Look at Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that personality.
It comes right out of the photograph, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Man, she is hot. Oof.
No, you need to see.
Yeah,
you
Ralph.
need to see.
We can see her at Scores, Ralph.
You
Is
need
Ralph
to
still on
see.
the phone?
No, you need to see a picture of this girl in her outfits from Dancing with the Star. That's nothing.
Tell Ralph to come down to Borders, 1 o'clock. What an Adrian
Just punch him when he gets there. Just identify yourself.
Jessica, quickly, take 2 more phone calls and I'll let you boys out of here. Go ahead.
Isn't that girl? Hey, Kevin, it's Jessica Hahn, honey. Hi.
Hey, Jessica.
Did you bang Jessica?
No.
No?
No, he used to work for Ronnie.
Ron.
And,
Ron Levitt.
Yeah. and
How
that's
are you,
right,
Jessica?
isn't he? What, guys?
How are you?
I'm good, but you know what, Howard? Kevin would be on set, like, with Nick. Nick,'s like, ridiculously gorgeous. And all these girls would come up to me and go, can you set me up with Kevin? If you knew the women he could have, I mean, it was insane. He was so loyal to Nick, and he's just... Everybody wanted Kevin. He's still.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't.
Well,
do
Jessica,
him.
did you know that Nikki was with Bobcat?
Yeah, I was there.
She was a witness.
I was with Ronnie. Ronnie created the show. And
All right. Thank you, Jessica.
Wait.
Yes.
Kevin came up for me and he hugged me. He thought I was Nikki. Remember, Kev?
Yeah.
From back. From
you say from behind, you look just like her. Okay.
That's quite a compliment.
All right, fine. Thank you, Jessica.
Bye,
Love you.
Jessica,
Yes,
love you.
Matt, go ahead. Last call. Go ahead, Matt. Yes. No, Matt. All right, then we'll go to Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Howard, how are you?
Okay.
I just want to make a comment. Did anybody in the studio notice that Robin's got that giddy, creamy-side voice again? Because there's a couple young guys in there.
Are you wet over these guys, Robin? Is that what's going on? Are you excited by the boys' appearance?
I'm a huge fan of the show.
You are.
Robin's on the prowl.
I'm not on any prowl.
Anybody here you want to date? You want to?
Get
Which of
out
these
of here.
two? Which of these 2 do you want? Or you want them both?
Can I have both?
You want them to double team you? Boys, go double team Robin.
Howard, tell her to stand up and check her chair for what?
Sure. I'm much more professional than that.
She is a professional. You're making a big mistake. All right, come on. Last comment. Go ahead, Eric. You're on the air in Fall River, Mass.
Hey, guys, what's happening?
Hey.
What's up? Hey, how big of a dickhead is Jeremy Piven? Is he really bald?
The gentleman you work with, Jeremy Piven, is he a dickhead?
No.
No, you like the guy? You all get along?
Absolutely.
All
He's a
right.
good guy, and, he's doing well for all of us.
There you go. All right, Eric. There's your answer.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Good question, Eric.
These are the kind of hard-hitting questions you have to answer on this show. Well, boys, I'm proud of you. You're doing well with your show. How many seasons has it been?
Coming up, getting ready to start 5.
And what do you have to do? You have to memorize all the lines, or you put them on cue cards? That's what I would do. I'm lazy.
Memorize.
Is it hard to memorize those lines?
Not really.
As though you guys are already, you're already finished shooting, right? The writer's strike is not.
The strike is going to affect us greatly.
Of course. You know, I understand why a writer's strike would affect you guys. Your show is a written show that you act. But I'm reading in the paper today that Letterman and Leno have to stop production of their show if there's a writer's strike.
Who's going to write the monologue?
But can't those guys go up and do a show?
Didn't they used to write everything for themselves?
1 or 2, probably, but how many can you do without,
Also, they're in the Writers Guild as well.
Oh, so they can't write.
Yeah, they can't.
But they can improv. They can get up and improv if they want it.
They can't get over and have you guys on and interview you without
Letterman,
writers?
just come out and talk to us.
I think it's about the monologue.
I bet you the show would be better without writers on those kinds of shows.
Oh, the writers don't want that to happen.
But Regis Philbin, he's going to do a show. He's not going to stop his show because there's no writer.
There's nothing written there.
Like Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart.
Forget those.
Why don't you take over, Howard?
Let me tell you something. I would, just to prove something. I don't need a writer. I'll sit there and I'll entertain the masses, and I'll get higher ratings than all of them.
How long is the opening monologue? How long is the opening monologue of those shows?
Too long.
Like 5 minutes.
Does Letterman do more than 2 jokes? Because when he had that old show, he only do 2 jokes.
He can't come up with 2 jokes on his own? I mean, come on. Do you want to speak to Ralph again? He wants to get back. Do you want him or not?
Let's watch. Ralph is going to
All right, Ralph, go ahead.
It's going to be a problem now. Ralph, I'm only kidding.
What is the problem, Ralph?
Ralph, I was kidding with you.
That's all right. Hey, Piven used to be bald. He's got, like,
he
more
used
hair
to be.
Now than you.
All right.
Is this Ralph or the other guy?
This is Ralph.
Eric?
This is Ralph.
The other guy, Ralph. So I got some free fashion advice for Adrian on the show. You have like a narrow upper body, and they put you in tight T-shirts and makes your hips look wide. You should be careful of that.
Ralph, 1 o'clock at Borders. 1 o'clock at Borders.
Adrian, what about that? Are your shirts too tight on the show, Entourage?
And do they make your hips look wide?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Ralph, you're looking really gay right now.
No, I know, but I do wardrobe and fashion. I'm trying to help the guy out. I like him.
All right, so you're saying...
Thank you.
So would you listen to this advice? Do you sense that Ralph has some
No, but now I'll
legitimacy?
develop an insecurity because of it. Thanks.
Thanks for making me feel bad about our star, making me feel bad about himself.
I may not never
Ralph.
get laid again.
How many guys really worry about how their hips look anyway?
What guys are looking at Adrian?
Ralph.
I just try to make him feel insecure because he's good looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that I go along
Trying
with.
to knock him off his game.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Ralph.
You know, I got a question for Adrian. That guy from your documentary, your best friend, I like that guy.
He was awesome.
You take care of him, you get him laid? I like that kid.
You know, he's actually engaged, so he's off the market.
His fiance wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
See, but, you know, that's the thing. He's got a friend who could step on the pussy bomb. You get hit with some shrapnel.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he caught a good one.
I told Adrian he's got to bring him into the new documentary. Got to try to work him into the new doc.
Yeah, he was
a sidekick.
He was fun in that.
This friend of yours, how's his upper body? Is it narrow?
Well, he's actually shirtless in my doc, so why don't you watch the doc?
Are his hips big compared to his
He's dressed just right in the documentary.
Oh, he is dressed
I don't know who
right.
did the fashion there.
I am going to watch your documentary. How do I get that documentary?
I can shoot you a copy.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I can get it in a video store?
Not yet.
Oh,
We'll have one sent over, though.
All right, I do want to see it. All right, one more plug. The book is Entourage, a Lifestyle. Lifestyle is a terrible thing to waste. The boys don't get a cut of the action. I don't understand.
But you can meet them.
I hate to tell these guys this. I got interviewed for the book. I got 10 G's.
But it's actually pretty. And I'm not. Listen, I don't care. Like I said, I'm not getting a cut of the book. So
you're happy for your success, and you like the show, and you love doing it.
Now, what kind of a cut are you? Are you guys like in the producer role on the show yet, or
no?
You haven't been able to work that out either.
No.
Wahlberg ever show up on the set still, or is he now he's completely uninvolved?
Well, it's not that he's uninvolved. I mean, he's smart. He cast the show. He sold it. He pitched it. He created it, and then he set it in motion and he let it go. Him sitting around on the set behind the monitor isn't going to do anybody any good.
Right.
So he handled it perfectly.
Does he ever have you guys over for dinner? Does he ever party with you guys, or what?
He's got a couple kids now, and he's a lot. Mark is like a completely different guy than he was.
Mark really blew it, didn't he?
I mean, he's really just kind of, he's a family man.
He's
now,
retired.
So he's retired. He is retired. Wahlberg.
I feel bad for you guys, though, because when you got to hold out, that season you're going to have to hold out like Soprano did. I think you're too friendly with the people you're going to be holding out against.
Yeah.
Isn't it great that you guys get better pussy now than Mark? Good for you.
Well, I mean, I don't think his hat's in the ring right now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or it might be short.
Yeah, Mark's looking for an Oscar, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. But the show is working out well. And how much longer are you guys under contract with the show?
2 more years.
2 more years.
2 more years. Will you try to renegotiate?
Listen, I would do 10 years on the show. It's the greatest job as an actor you could ever have. I don't care what movies you're doing. Well, just because of the nature of the show. We shoot in different cool locations close to our houses every day.
Right.
It's pretty
Adrian,
girls.
do you feel that way?
Absolutely.
You want to reopen your contract or not?
I will do it for as long as they ask me to.
No kidding.
Right. As long as they'll have us, we're in.
It really is a dream job.
And even if you went on to do like big movies and all that kind of stuff, in terms of actually going to work, there's just,
It's a good meaty role, is what you're saying.
Greatest acting job you could ever have.
No, I got to tell you, it is such a pleasant set. Everybody's happy and
You
like.
guys aware that
any women at all,
Artie was
that
on
guy?
your show? Do you
I
know
know.
that?
We were not only, we didn't get to act with Artie, but but very popular. People walking up to us on the street for months asking about when's the episode with Artie? When's the episode with Artie?
There's a lot of cross promotion going on.
I do worry about Turtle. Turtle, does he catch anything? Is all the girls are running?
I bet he's getting laid in real life.
He's got a girl that he's like madly in love with that he spends every waking second with. Yeah.
How does HBO show their appreciation to you guys? They need hit shows. You guys have one of the few hit shows since The Sopranos went off the air. Do they show their appreciation?
Very much so.
How so?
I mean, they've been great with us, or contract wise, and
someone told me they gave you a free subscription to HBO. Is that right? You get it for free.
I mean, there's never been. They go out of their way to make us happy.
I see. I wonder what that means.
They should.
I mean, they do. I mean, it's not.
Right.
They're not showering us with the Tony Soprano money, but we're they take great care of us.
John from Cincinnati. That's all you got to say.
Is that coming back, John?
No.
That's it. You guys are the show now.
Not
That's
coming
it.
back.
And Larry David's doing 2 more years on Curb.
That's true. Well, you're in the driver's seat. That's what I'm trying to tell you, boys.
No one's watching Larry David's show.
All right. Well, boys, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
I wish
having
you
us.
the best of luck with the show, all your other projects. I'm going to watch the documentary, Adrian. When I run into you, I'm going to say hello to you as well.
Okay, good.
All right, Kevin, great seeing you as well.
Thanks
Come
for
back
having
and see us anytime. We'll be back right after these words.
Adrian, they threw you through the gamut there.
They certainly did.
Did you have fun, though, regardless?
I had a great time listening to Connolly in his monologue.
Kevin, do you have a good time? You've done this before, but...
Yeah, but that was good.
Stern show. Very excited. Been a fan for many, many years, and I can't tell you, you know, how many times I've listened to this show and just lost it. Actually, sometimes I've actually been haunted by this show. One show in particular, where I think the girl's name was Aurora. She was a porn star, and when she had oral sex, she made this quacking sound, this I swear I've been like haunted by that. Haunted in a good way though, because it's it just brings joy to my heart every time I think of that, and so many other things. Plus the fact that he's a rebel and counterculture, works outside the system, and I really dig that. I really dig anybody who's got the guts to dance to the beat of their own drummer.
RuPaul, where do we begin? Everyone knows who RuPaul is, right? I don't have to explain who RuPaul is. He got famous for dressing like a woman, a very attractive woman, quite frankly.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman, tall dude. I was surprised to find out that RuPaul, there is RuPaul.
Hello there.
Hi, how you doing, Ru? I got to say, I miss you as a woman.
Really?
I like you as a woman. Always thought you had a good look.
Yeah.
I did.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, hello.
Hi there. How are you?
Is my microphone built in here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's weird to see you as a man.
You think so?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, when you're used to RuPaul being that bodacious woman, yeah.
You're absolutely right. Actually, when I see myself in drag, I think, whoa, who's that, you know?
When you dress as a woman, and now I assume you're in your 40s now?
I'm actually 10 days shy of 47.
Is it? Do you go through the same thing a woman goes through? Like, oh man, I'm getting older.
No.
My whole thing in life is being an attractive woman. And then, you know, when you get older, the men stop staring as much and all that. Is that a frightening prospect?
Is RuPaul maintaining? Is that what you're
That's a good question. You know, because a little bit of that comes in because we live in New York. We live in a culture where it's all about beauty and youth and stuff.
Right.
But then, you know, because it's drag, you know, there's this satire parody part of it that doesn't matter. I mean, I could be in a wheelchair at 80 and still come out and say, "You better work," you know, and it'd still be funny. I think people would still pay to see it.
To me, it's funny. You know, RuPaul, there are very few men who dress up as women who actually look good as women. You had an attractive look. I think it was confusing to a lot of guys.
Yeah, because a lot of guys were turned on, and they were like, whoa, 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 whoa.
They were like, whoa, wait a second. But I learned that you never really cared about dressing up in drag. You were in a rock band.
Right.
And there was a gimmick involved, dressing up as a woman. You got a lot of attention for it. But I thought you were a 24/7... kind of, you know, transvestite who wanted to be in women's clothing. You don't care. You don't dress as a woman full time.
No. You're absolutely right. It was a gimmick. In fact, we were doing it back then as a statement to say, you know, listen, we're told not, is really like a punk rock statement. We're told not to dress in drag, so we're going to dress in drag.
Did you get a sexual thrill out of dressing in drag?
No.
Did you
really.
like the attention from men?
Yes, the power part, which is, I guess, sexual too.
Right.
The power you get. It's like Clark Kent to Superman. The power you get in the attention. And somehow, when I'm in drag, the frequency is clear for people to pick up on me. You know, I'd be ignored normally.
Right. If you were dressed as a man, no one would pay attention to you.
Right.
When you would get dressed up as a woman, suddenly even men started treating you like a lady.
Absolutely.
And treating you in a different way, like you're a superstar.
Well, maybe not like a lady, because, you know, you're saying dress like a woman. I mean, women, I dress in drag. Women don't. Some women dress in drag.
Right.
Most women just dress in slacks and blazers and T-shirts.
You were ultra femme. Did you dress? Did straight men come on to you a lot?
Yeah, sure.
They did.
Yeah.
And did you have sex with them?
I would fool around a little bit.
You would.
You know?
Did famous men come on to you?
After I got famous, all of that stopped because I was in to do the job and out of there. You know, there's security, there's people with me the whole time. So it's never like, you know, I could sneak away or say, oh, my car's parked over here, let's go. It was never like that.
I remember seeing you on the MTV Awards, and you came out with Milton Berle. You know, you co-presented, and you got really pissed off at him. He made a crack to you, and I thought to myself at the time, well, Milton Berle was a kind of, you know, Milton Berle wasn't really a super funny guy.
No.
He wasn't a stand-up comic. And I think he was trying to be funny at the time, but he did it. He kind of made a homophobic remark, I remember. He kind of said something shitty about you, didn't he?
Well, this is what happened. And listen, this thing has followed me ever since then. I don't think it's been 13, 14 years ago. If I were to do that thing all over again, I would not have. I got upset at him, and it took it out on live TV, and that was a big mistake.
I had a theory about it, and I understand where you were coming from. I would imagine. I don't know anything.
What the affront was?
What was the affront? What did he say to you? Do you remember?
He was very rude backstage. First of all, they sprung it on me right before the awards that he was going to be presenting with me. And I thought, oh, what? And I realized then that MTV didn't get what I was about or what I was doing with drag. I mean, my drag is a completely different type of. His drag is this sort of gender fuck misogynist thing that's really kind of mean. You know?
Milton Berle used to dress up as a woman.
all the
For those of you who don't know, he's an old-time comic, and I guess MTV paired RuPaul and Milton Berle together because here's the old-school guy dressed up in drag. But RuPaul was actually, he was a gay man doing the drag in a different way than Milton Berle was poking fun at.
And he was never attractive, and he was, just forget it.
But it was funny when Milton Berle would do it. But he said something specific. Backstage, he was rude to you.
Yes.
He felt that you weren't his equal and that he didn't really want to present with you.
I don't know exactly what it was, but I was not only offended by what MTV had done, but some of the things he was saying. And on top of it, he had all the punchlines. He had all the jokes, and they were at my expense. So I thought, you know what, this may be my only shot on TV. You know what, I'm gonna screw them up on the air. I'm just going to say whatever I want to say. And
you told
I said
Milton
something
Berle,
really rude.
You said something about his Depends, that he wore Depends underwear or something.
He had some joke about, RuPaul, back in the day, I used to wear dresses, and I said something about, well, no, now you wear diapers, or something like that.
Right.
It was, first of all, it was awful. It was offensive. I've learned through a lot of therapy, I should not have done it on the air. I should have taken him to the side back there and said, listen, mother, don't talk to me that way, and blah, blah, blah.
I think I knew where you were coming from, and maybe I'm playing psychiatrist here, but it seems to me, and I don't know your life story, but I can imagine being a young boy growing up, being effeminate, that you took a lot of crap. I can't imagine what your life was like. Where did you grow up?
How do you know he was a young, effeminate boy?
Come on. You were not a young, effeminate boy? If you weren't, then then I'm a nut. I mean, where did you grow up?
I'm from San Diego.
I would imagine.
They're not so tough in San Diego.
But wait, I would imagine the crap you took growing up. I mean, you just didn't want to be goofed on anymore.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Although I sidestepped a lot of that stuff because I got a winning personality, a cute smile, and I could be funny. So I got to sideswipe a lot of what you're talking about. It wasn't as bad for me as it is for a lot of kids. But
you're a little bit younger than me, and I know that when I was growing up, to be a gay man or gay boy in school, was it obvious from day one that you were gay?
They told me. I didn't. I was probably 5 years old, and the kids said, "Oh, you're a sissy," and I said, "Oh, really?" I didn't
know.
Yeah,
but you knew you were attracted to men, I would assume.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But you didn't know what that was called. You didn't know it was wrong, and then I would imagine.
No, I knew it was wrong. That's for sure.
They made sure you knew that.
Yeah.
Who told you were gay?
The kids in the neighborhood.
They all said you're gay.
Yeah, I grew up in a house with all girls, and I was always, called a sissy and all that stuff, and it was very clear. I was never in the closet.
Were you ever beaten for it? Were you ever abused?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Not made fun of, though.
I was made fun of, but I don't think it was to the degree that I would, go into a shell or stop being who I am.
Now, how do you, growing up in San Diego, act out on this? Were you very young when you started messing around with dudes?
No, actually, it came very late. Black folks are really weird about sex, okay? And so, especially, I had no gay role models or anything like that. So I had to do this stuff on my own.
You had to figure it out.
I'd figure it out on my own.
Black community is particularly rough on a gay black man.
Absolutely. Yes. I think it's the religion, it's all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So my first sexual encounter was I was 18 years old.
And then there came a time in your life where things were, I guess, really bad, where you became a prostitute. But were you a prostitute as a woman or as a man? Did you dress as a woman to be a prostitute?
I told Will this story.
Yeah.
And, I used to live in the meat market here in New York.
Right.
And I actually lived at 5 9th Avenue, which is now this big ritzy restaurant.
Right,
It's a
right.
3-story house. Me and Lady Bunny and LaHoma and Larry T. were all downtown stars at this time.
Those are all famous drag queens.
Well, yeah, downtown
Right.
people. Larry T's not drag queen. But I was working at Mars, which was on the West Side Highway, and I walked home from there. And that area, traditionally, for years and years, has been a haven for tranny hookers. Now it's a hooker of a different type.
What?
I was going to say, Artie could tell
Artie,
us
that's where you
about
got your
that.
first
Yes.
blowjob, right?
It was way north of there.
I still think Artie might have gotten blown by a man.
RuPaul did Artie.
I went to. Do you remember a very kind guy in a
Wait a minute.
72 Toyota?
You know Artie, right? Yeah.
Wait a minute, unzip your flag.
You know his penis.
No, it's funny. I went to Mars a couple of times, and that was a fun place if you were on 8 tabs of ecstasy.
You were walking home dressed as a woman. Someone pulled over in their car, I assume.
Yeah, because there are a lot of guys. It was just the haven for that kind of thing. And no, I wasn't a prostitute per se. I wouldn't be out there. But this one guy pulled over, really good looking guy.
It wasn't me.
And
You're safe. Yes.
And asked me if I wanted to date. And I said, And so I got in the van with him. And I swear to you, within 2 minutes, the cops pulled the van over.
Oh.
And he said, get down on the floor. And he jumped out of the van and went around to talk to the cops. And I'm in the van, stooped down like that. And
in full drag.
In full drag. And the cops let him go. And he got in the car and dropped me off around the block. He gave me $25, but I didn't have to do it. Listen,
You didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. And I would have blown him for free.
Right.
But I
You
thought,
liked him.
Yeah, but listen, back then, this is like 1989, we were doing everything for kicks. And not to mention, I was probably on I was probably drinking. I'm sure I was drinking.
Were you
I'm sure I
a
was
big
on
drug person?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of drug. Coke, heroin?
Yeah, no, I snorted heroin once.
A couple of times. One time. And so you become... I'm not even sure how the whole big RuPaul thing blew up. I mean, you became very famous from a hit song, right?
Yeah, you know what happened? I was downtown. This is when there was a club culture in New York City, big mega clubs. They pay people to come and go dance, drag queens and everything to come and dance and show up there. So I really hit the pinnacle downtown. Mm-hmm. And this is... They don't have that anymore, but this is back then. I become the Queen of Manhattan, which is this big honor that is voted
was there
on.
a contest?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Does every gay man want to have sex with you, or some gay men turned off to the whole drag
Listen,
thing?
today gay people are obsessed with anything straight acting, and drag right now is at an all-time low in terms of popularity.
Right.
And, it's like... I have a whole theory on this, but it's right now, everything's about straight acting. You want to get married, you want to have babies, and I'm from a culture of gay people where it's like, I don't like kids, I don't want to get married, I don't want to
You don't
emulate.
want to do anything straight.
I don't want to emulate anything.
If you want to do straight stuff, be straight. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're a gay man, you want to have fun.
Happened?
I don't know what
Did
happened.
you go through a whole period of time where you would just have a willy-nilly sex?
No, I was, because of my background, I was always like, oh, Mr. Grant. I was never.
Were you lucky to? You were like a Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore.
Were you lucky enough to avoid the AIDS crisis because you were so sort of uptight?
Yeah.
But did a man ever have sex with you thinking you were a woman?
No.
It never happened.
Listen, whenever I've had sex, per se, when I happened to be in drag, it was a blowjob or something. It was never
You would
like...
blow the guy as if you were a woman when you were in drag.
No, but it was never as a woman. Look, you're 6'5", I'm 6'4".
Right. Yeah, there's no
How
woman.
many women, right?
No, nobody ever thought I was a woman.
When you dressed in drag, though, would you hide your balls and penis by tucking them and pushing them all back? Is that?
I should hope so.
Is that very painful?
It can be painful, depending on the degree of your tuck.
Are you a large man? Do you have a big penis and
average.
balls?
I think I'm average.
So to tuck the penis and balls is a very difficult thing. Who teaches you all of this? How do you learn this?
There's only one place the balls and your cock can go. There's only one place.
The ass.
You can't make a mistake at it.
Right. But who teaches you how to be a drag queen? How do you learn how to do something like this?
Well, in the drag world, there are, say, mothers and fathers and people who... I lived in Atlanta, Georgia for many, many years, and that's like Mecca for drag queens.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
is.
know that.
It is. And so, there were a lot of people that we emulated. But we were like a new wave of drag. I started out doing gender fuck, which is like, combat boots and smeared lipstick, sort of like this, hey, fuck you.
You're not sure what I am, boy or a girl.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but then when I moved to New York, that wasn't really happening. I had to make money. And so the call then, if you want to make money, was for femmy, pretty, shave your legs, put on some fake tits.
And you did it well.
And I did it, and I couldn't believe.
But you were out, you never came off. You were a woman.
Well, you guys keep saying woman. In my mind, it's just glamorama. It's just drag.
Right. You never were interested in becoming a woman.
No.
That's a whole different bag.
No, I'm not saying that. But when you were, there's a definite difference between you and RuPaul.
What is a drag? I don't know about that. Was there, as a drag queen, a top drag queen, which you were.
Still am. I'm the queen of queens.
Right. Okay.
Let's clear that up.
Absolutely. I would say you're the most famous drag queen in the world.
Yeah.
Can you become a millionaire from something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did? And mostly from live shows?
Live shows, you know it, because records are an advertisement for your show. In fact, this weekend I will be in Corpus Christi, Houston, and San Antonio. You can go to RuPaul.com to find out the exact club I'll be at.
And what do you do at the club? Do you sing live or do you sing to record?
I sing live to a track. Yeah, all the background vocals are on the track.
Because most drag queens will just like lip sync to Judy Garland or something like that. You do your own original tracks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you make an appearance, you're in full drag and you come out as a woman. And who mostly goes to those?
Come out as a woman. You guys are stuck on this. Come out as a woman.
Dressed as a woman.
Yeah. I'm in drag. I mean, listen, there are women who do drag and there are men who do drag.
There are women who have to dress up as women?
There are women who dress in drag. Pamela Anderson, LaToya Jackson, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
You mean that extreme sort of glamour?
Jackie Stallone is in drag. There are men.
Dame Edna.
How do you decide how big your breast should be?
Well, depending on what my weight is at the time. If my butt is really big at the time, I want to balance it out proportionately with the size of my breast. I'm up to a...
You're very thin.
I'm very thin. I'm up to a D cup right now.
Right. And when you say a D cup, you put on a bra and you put on a gel, some sort of gel?
3 words. Lady Footlocker.
Lady Footlocker?
Yeah, they're socks.
Is that what they are? Yeah. They're socks. But yet you appear to have some sort of cleavage.
There are tricks, Howard. There are tricks of the trade that, on Fox, they had this show, Magicians' Tricks finally revealed. I thought, how could they do that? How could they? But it's just tricks. There are
when
ways
you go to bed
things.
with a man, you're not interested in being in women's clothing. And you like to go to bed with another man. And I assume, though, that you are more femme, that you like to take it in the ass. I'm assuming.
Let's get right to it.
I'm in technical. I'm what you call versatile.
Are you?
You're a top or a bottom.
I'm up to whatever we can do.
I can't see you being a top. I mean, you're so feminine.
You think so?
Well, come on. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you have a feminine voice. You are very, very effective as dressed in drag. I would imagine you like to play that out in the bedroom.
You're not exactly Red from Tuba.
Yeah. I mean, as a top, when you're in the role sexually as a top, where you're inserting your penis into a man. Do you
lower your voice?
Yeah, do you speak differently?
What are you doing? I'll fuck you in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, there's a role-playing thing that occurs.
Sure, I'm up for it. Yeah.
I'll cut your belly open.
When you look in the mirror at yourself, do you feel you're better looking as dressed in a manly way or in a feminine way? Where do you think you shine the most?
I probably shine the most in drag.
In drag.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of a drag going back to being a man, right? I mean, in a man's outfit.
Well, not really. I mean, it's obvious it's more comfortable. At least when you do drag, when I do drag, there's so much attention on me, and you have to sort of be a conduit to so much energy that I'm happy to take it off so I can go because I'm actually a very chill person.
You can actually move around in life very comfortably because
absolutely,
that's actually a good thing.
And it's by design. I mean, we live in a patriarchal culture that is designed for men to be men. And listen, doing drag in a patriarchal culture is akin to treason. So it's it's the most punk rock thing you could do.
Here you are, a guy, you were living underground, so to speak, and now you become famous.
Right.
Supermodel of the world, that song.
You even had endorsement deals.
Yeah. It becomes big. Are you suddenly now invited to A-list parties? You're accepted by the Hollywood elite. Are you now hobnobbing with all...
Do you become an insider?
To a certain degree, in as far as the gimmick, you know, people want to have you around because they go, oh, look, I had a meeting today with RuPaul, or guess who came to the party, you know, as far as that's concerned. But not, you know, there's still so much taboo attached to drag. You know,
that you would never fully accept it.
No. And listen, this is with everybody. Even gay people are still, we grow up in the same, we're all the same. So we grow up with this hatred of really all things feminine, except when it comes in the form of a femininity that we can deal with, like a Pamela Anderson or Jessica Simpson, you know, where it's not threatening. But a femininity like Hillary Clinton is like, oh, no, that's a little bit too much for me.
There's no femininity.
I was going to say, where's the femininity there?
When we get into your life here, though, there had to be a wild period. You say you did drugs. Was there a time where you were doing 2-3 guys at the same time? Did you begin to...
Did you taste the fruits of your fame?
Yeah. Did you ever enjoy 2 men at the same time?
No, I never did that.
Really? I'm shocked.
Did that.
You know what I always wonder? I wonder about your intimacy. Do you have like long-term relationships, or was it always fly by night?
RuPaul likes it fast and
I can't believe I'm here. You know, I was in a relationship with a man for 6 years, and
how did he deal with your fame?
He was, you know what, he had his own thing going on, and you know, I think he dealt with it fine. He's still my closest friend, you know.
Why'd you break up?
It was obvious. It was time, you know. It was.
The rumor was the man was Al Gore, former Vice President of the United States. Would you confirm or deny that?
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say.
Did you ever have sex with a woman in your life?
No, I never have.
No, not curious.
No.
Ever kiss a woman?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? I mean,
make
you know,
out
make
kissing.
out?
Yes. When
Touch
I was
the
a teenager.
titties?
Yep.
Finger a woman?
No.
Never.
It was that sickening you couldn't go any further.
Yeah.
Never. It's gross, right?
I wouldn't say it's gross. Listen, you know, coming from my background, there are all these directives that are given that that would hold me back. And I've spent a lifetime trying to undo a lot of that stuff. So you know what? It's early in the morning. Later today, you may ask me that question, and I can say, yes, I fingered the lady cab driver. You know,
it could all change on a drop of a
So can we have your number? We'll call you about 6.
Jenks, you're on the air. Go ahead in Philadelphia.
Hey, RuPaul. I'm going to try to ask this question with as much couth as possible.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
Did you ever suck Elton John's dick?
Holy shit.
Wow. Is that true? Did you hear a rumor, Jenks?
Yes.
Were you ever a lover of Elton John?
Well,
when you did that song, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, I heard you sucked his dick.
We did a duet together.
Did his balls bounce off your chin?
Well, we're going to get the answer. RuPaul doesn't hold back.
Yelling.
Ru, Elton John, ever a lover of yours?
Let's see. How can I answer this?
So yes, move on.
No, we weren't. We were not lovers. No.
You're saying it almost like you were.
But you did something.
Yeah, there was some dick sucking going on.
Why not, though? You're 2 gay men. I assume he's attractive. He's a powerful man. You are certainly attractive man. Why not? Why not? As this caller says, suck his
Well,
dick?
you know, when we were doing our duet, he was in a relationship with someone.
So are you afraid to admit that you did have sex with him?
fling.
I mean, that relationship is over now, and you could certainly come clean with that. Is Sir Elton John one of your former lovers?
Well, let's call him Sir.
Nobody will hear us. Just tell us.
All right. Just between us,
Right.
Sir Sharon is actually she's a drag queen also.
Right. I know.
So they call that. What do they call that in the? It calls queef. You know, when you're bumping queefs.
Yeah.
Bumping pussies.
Right.
We didn't do that.
You didn't.
No.
Wait, his name, Elton John's name is
Sharon.
Sharon.
Sharon told me that himself.
Yeah.
Really?
He told me about how Freddie Mercury gave him that name.
Did you lick
of
Elton
Queen?
John's asshole?
He never gave me the opportunity.
Did it taste like a copper penny?
I can't wait to introduce you all to Brenda.
Who is Brenda?
Brenda Lang?
Let's just say it's someone I know. Hey, you know, RuPaul, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you remember doing some work with Mad TV?
I do.
Yeah. Now, I think I might have met you, but you were, you know...
You were RuPaul.
It's weird because I feel like...
You worked with RuPaul? when you were on Mad TV?
You did a quick thing for Mad TV, right? And I might have met you as the, and it's so weird, it's so different. Like I don't feel like I've met this person. I met the other person.
That's what I'm saying.
They're two unique people in a sense.
And we might have
the characters are complete.
We might have a mutual friend. Do you know Michelle from Mad TV?
Oh, yes, I know Michelle.
You know her well, right?
Yeah, I know her from the Village here in New York. She was a girl down at the Boy Bar.
Right.
When I was doing clubs downtown here.
This girl, Howard, this was a hair person that I worked with at Mad TV for 2 years.
Hot?
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought she was a chick for 5 months.
Oh, you're kidding. And so how far did you go?
Well, I didn't think...
you mean
she was a tranny.
a drag queen.
She's a guy who's I don't know if she had the operation.
She has had the operation.
She has.
She's a trans...
Her boss, Matthew, was...
And she was hot.
Yes, and I mean, look, thank God I'm too shy around women. Because she would do my hair. And let me say, when a person's doing your hair, you talk and...
Ru, does a woman have, or a man who dresses like a woman have an obligation to tell someone like Artie, look, I used to be a man.
Look, fat ass.
Well, listen, this is the thing, is that, we all have intuition, and everybody knows the tea. Everybody really knows the tea on subconscious level, subconscious level. I don't know. So the person really does already know. Now, does the other person have an obligation? It depends on how far it goes. If you're doing the person's hair, probably not.
Right.
But if you are going to take that person home, and
there's never a chance.
You might want to tell.
Probably.
But
should tell.
I
is it possible?
That's interesting because I've always thought that, because we have that discussion sometimes. If you don't know it's a man and you have sex, or you let them give you oral or whatever, is that gay?
Well, at that time,
and RuPaul is saying,
Oh,
okay.
I don't always agree with that.
But I'll say this.
Tula once almost gave me a hand job, and I got to say, it was pretty good.
Tell me if I can say this.
Artie, did you ever get aroused while you were having your hair done, or did you beat off to this person?
Never beat off, never got really aroused. No, but I will admit to speaking to Michelle as if he were a woman.
Well, Michelle is a woman.
Well, she hadn't had the operation yet.
But listen, we are all...
But you say she's a woman.
We're all co-creators with Buddy or God or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And so whatever you believe between your two ears is the truth. And we project that. That's just the way it is.
I mean, she was a good...
hit Eric
I was going to say, somebody's doing something, taking a sacrament.
Eric, go ahead, ask your question, please.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
How you doing, RuPaul?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, now.
Eric, sorry, Eric.
Eric, yeah.
I wanted to give you an F, marry, kill, but I had a couple of questions first.
Okay.
Have you ever either left mud on someone's helmet or maybe got mud on your own
All right,
helmet?
that's a legitimate question.
Right.
Why?
Ru, as a gay man, anal sex is part of your repertoire.
Right.
If you're with a man and let's say he leaves mud on your helmet, is that the ultimate turn-off, and how can a guy prevent that?
Or do you feel that you've really hit gold?
Yeah. Yeah, do you think you're turning him on? Have you gotten mud on your helmet?
Eureka!
Is that like striking oil? Hey, I'm like the Clampets.
Black gold.
Any mud with corn or...
No, well, let's not get gross about it.
Really?
Corn?
Ru, honestly.
Yeah, don't get gross, Howard.
Have you ever hit pay dirt, as they say?
It is an occupational hazard from time to time, but, for the most part, there is a latex rubber involved, so, it's not too bad. You would want to be prepared, and if you do go south of the border, you prepare yourself.
The first time that happened, excuse me, Bong here, but the first time that happened to you, were you turned off in a sense to the man?
Initially, but you know what? Look, it's taken me years to get over my shit shame. I do colonics.
You're big on colonics. So is our Robin.
Yeah.
And you like inserting tubes in your ass? And
it's absolutely the closest you can get to God is having something up your ass.
And you like when they tell you what's coming out? And
I never look. Do you?
Robin looks.
No,
I don't look.
Robin looks.
I do not.
You saw carrots.
Oh, please! They told me about carrots, but that was years ago.
Robin had carrots.
They still had those green those stocking things on them.
Will you eat a man's ass?
Sure, absolutely.
You will.
Yeah.
Can I give him an F, marry, kill, Howard?
All right, F, marry, kill. One of these people you have to marry, one of them you have to kill, and one of them you have to F.
All right. Or blow. I'll give 4 people. F, marry, kill, or blow.
No, F, marry, kill. Come on, don't change
It's not a B, marry, kill.
Go ahead.
Marry, kill. Artie, Fred, or Benji?
All right, take a look at us.
All right, you want to stand up?
Benji, stand up.
Benji.
All right, Benji is the guy in the middle. Fred is the guy to your right.
Hi, Fred.
And Artie is the guy to the left. You have to F one of them, you have to marry one of them, and you have to kill one of them. Who do you go to?
Looks alone.
Looks alone, you don't really know them. Yeah.
Okay, and we're not going to take this personally.
No,
guys,
no one takes it personally. We've all been dumped on.
No one takes shit personally except the two writers in the back.
So it's F, marry, and kill.
Right.
Yikes.
All right.
Don't
Fred
take it
is to
personally.
your right.
I'm loving his eyes. I'm fucking loving his eyes.
You're talking about Benji.
Yeah, I want to marry him.
You want to marry Benji?
Wow.
Wow.
That's
this is right out of left field. I had no idea
I can feel this connection. Do you feel what I'm feeling right now?
Benji, you feel... Wait a second, Benji. You feel the connection? Wow. Be honest.
Come on, Benji.
Okay, this is my honest thing. I'm a straight guy, but I feel lovability about you.
Yeah.
You seem like
What
a
if he
really
was dressed
lovable,
in
nice
drag,
guy.
Benji? Then
You see, you have a real sweetness to you.
Why don't you go?
I can see it in you,
do me a favor. Go back in another room and dress up as a woman. Maybe it'll be more of a connection.
Also, clearly you haven't seen Benji's paycheck.
Right.
No, okay, I tell you what. I want to marry you, I want to fuck you, and I want to kill your ass.
You want all the same thing.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, you don't want to say who you want.
The guy he really wants to look at is that guy right over there.
What about Gary?
Yeah.
You like him?
So we had an odd moment. Maybe it's just me, but I thought that Rue sort of flirted with me in the green room. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
I said to Rue,
yes, you're crazy.
No, I said to RuPaul, can I get you anything to drink? Would you like coffee or water? And he said, are you always that tan?
Back off, Gary.
No, and I just thought that was an odd response to would you like water or
Gay
coffee?
men love you. Every gay guest comes on to Gary. What is it about Gary that is so attractive?
He's got, it's the coloring. He's got the brown skin,
Met fan,
beautiful eyes.
Shut up, fuck you.
It's a fact, Gary. What do you want me to tell you? No gay guys come on to me.
No, and there is a sweetness. There's an accessibility about you.
Thank you.
That's really.
I think RuPaul was just very nice to me because I got a feeling I was in the coffin.
Rue, was Artie in the coffin? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
You don't want to say.
You know, the other thing I want to say, and I don't know, I won't say the name out unless you think I can get away with this.
Probably not.
The girl I talk about at Mad TV, there was a famous guy who guested on the show.
Okay.
Who hit on, there was a long 12-hour day. He did a sketch with us. He hit on Michelle all fucking day.
He didn't know that Michelle was a man,
and
formally.
It's an attractive guy, and I think Michelle was attracted to him. And
you don't know where it went?
We never got to the bottom of it. Michelle claimed nothing happened, but like by the end of the day, I don't know. I think phone numbers were exchanged.
You'd be surprised.
Now, that happened to you,
guy.
I'm sure.
Macho
I mean, come on. RuPaul, the character in drag, very attractive, and I would think that some men did come on to you who were confused.
Well, people flirt. Women flirt. I mean, you know, the thing I did with Gary, you know, when people are talking or communicating, you know, you want to get to another level.
You've made love to famous men, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Really?
No.
Well, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Have you ever blown a famous guy?
What?
No, I haven't. I really haven't. You know, except that, you know, in my movie Star Booty, there are some famous.
Now, what is this movie? You're in a movie. You're here to promote. All right, Star Booty.
Star Booty is an exploitation comedy that I wrote and produced and star in. I didn't direct it. Mike Ruiz directed, and it's out on DVD. It's in Best Buys and.
It's on DVD.
It's on DVD at Virgin Megastore and on Amazon.com.
And Star Booty is you in drag.
It's me in drag. I play this government operative who has to go undercover as a prostitute to rescue her kidnapped niece.
I see. So it's a funny movie.
It's a funny movie.
Right.
And Candace Cain is in it. And Candace Cain is the transsexual on Dirty Sexy Money. And she is phenomenal in this movie.
Hey, she's been on the show, right, Howard?
Would you ever work nude? Would you ever do a nude scene?
It depends. It would depend on how it was shot or whatever.
But you're not ashamed?
No. No, but I mean, how could I do nude? I don't have tits or.
Well, you're taking off your dress in front of men, and then you go, look. I don't know. It could be fun. All right. So getting back to Mud on the Helmet.
Yeah.
You're saying it has happened.
Sure.
It's part
and what
of the.
What about you? Have you ever?
What?
Have you ever left mud on some guy's helmet?
Right, yeah.
You know what? I'm so
shame?
self-conscious about that stuff. If it's gonna happen, you know, I'm gonna get myself ready.
Is it always planned?
How do you get yourself? Yeah, how do you get yourself ready for your anal?
Well, listen, if you know, if you know it's going to have, if it's unplanned, you have to excuse yourself and go and see if you're ready. But if,
what do you mean by ready? And you don't want one in the chamber, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
You insert a finger.
I gotta say, I've done that. That's happened to me. I've done that before. After losing a bet, I physically took a shit on a jet helmet.
So you're saying if you're making love to a man and he says, "Rue, I need your behind," you'll say, "Excuse me for 1 minute, I have to go prepare."
Well, yeah, I mean, say, let me go see if we can do this.
And you go and you evacuate.
Evacuate. That's
Evacuate,
right.
and then you clean up back there, and then you present yourself in the
baby
bedroom.
wipes. Your best defense is paper hasn't touched my bum in over 10 years.
Smart, you won't get hemorrhoids.
That's right.
Absolutely, I tell my audience the same thing.
Baby wipes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
I've learned
funny.
a lot.
No paper, but cock yes. That's unbelievable.
Sure.
Paper, no.
RuPaul, it's fascinating to meet you. A pleasure to meet you. And RuPaul's film *Star Booty* is available on DVD now. And if you need more information about the film and you're having trouble finding it, you can go to *StarBooty, BOOTY.com. And also, as I said earlier, RuPaul made his money primarily from going to clubs, and he will be appearing in an area near you soon. And
Let me ask you something about that, because you said you're in Corpus Christi and a couple of other places in Texas. The middle of the country, okay for...
You know what? That's where I make the most money.
Is that right?
It really is, because, big cities
people pay
can't
to leave.
pay the fee.
They pay you to leave.
Get out of town, RuPaul. Here's $1,000.
I was, last weekend, I swear.
Me and the fellas took up a collection in the hat.
Are you wearing...
And if you're a freaky asshole, hike it out of here. We'll give you $500.
Do you have men's? Do you have men's underwear on now, or do you wear panties?
No, I'm wearing all men's attire right now.
You are. And when you dress up as a woman, do you wear thong?
I sure do. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Even the underwear.
Well, they're tucking panties.
Yeah, I was
going to
say they can't be women's.
And you know what they are? It's a thong. It's a thong that will fit me. That will keep everything south of the border, so to speak. It keeps.
How long does it take you to
place.
get dressed as a woman?
Well, it varies. Depends on to what degree. If I'm going to have my picture taken, where everything's going to be showing under a microscope, it could take me 4 hours. But listen.
So you're like a real woman.
Yeah, it
takes Robin 4 hours to get
It would
ready.
take anybody 4 hours to have all that stuff done.
Yeah, you have to shave. You have to do the whole thing. It's a big. In fact, I'm looking at you now. You actually have you actually have a heavy beard.
Yeah.
I mean, what do? You have to put tons of makeup over that, right?
Yeah.
It's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job. I enjoy it. Listen, I was built to do this job. And so I don't poo-poo it. There have been times when I thought, I can't do it anymore. But then I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it until they run me out of town.
Why not? It's a good business, and people seem to enjoy it.
People enjoy it. And you know what? There's nobody... I'm total counterculture. You would think there'd be more kids coming up to take my throne. I wish there were. I honestly
nobody
do.
out there.
There's nobody coming up. And I challenge anybody.
Why
come
no
on
more
up.
hit songs? What happened with the music?
Listen, you have in the music business, you have about 7 years to make it happen until your demographic grows up and they don't buy records anymore. My first record was "Could It Be I'm Falling in Love" by the Spinners.
How many records did you sell?
I don't know. I think the first single did maybe 260,000. It wasn't.
You never put out an album?
I put out albums. I put an album out to *Star Booty* just online, Right. They sell okay, but listen, I don't get radio play. When was the last time you were in the Virgin Megastore?
Supermodel, that's a supermodel. That never got radio play?
Not really. No, it's still alive today, and I get royalties from it because they use it for fashion shows or on TV for bumpers and stuff. But it never even cracked the top 40.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was a much bigger hit.
Subsequently, it's lived, and I make money off of it, but wasn't a.
Well, you're a good guy, and I wish you a lot of luck.
My pleasure being
here. A lot
here.
of fun, and you were for a short stint. You were on radio for a while, right?
I did morning drive for about a year.
Is it? WKTU.
You know what? It wasn't the hours that killed me. It was the suits upstairs. I couldn't deal with all the people saying, you guys should do. You should do the. You guys should do. I love the medium, but and I did it again a few years ago.
Do you have a lot of black friends, or is it tougher for you in the black community?
all my friends, my friends are friends because they're either bohemian or they think a certain way. It's not black or white. It's more because they think outside the box.
Are you angry with black people for not being more accepting of gay people?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yes.
And what do you say when you listen to these rap albums and records that, you know, are very homophobic?
I feel sorry for. She's not to be. She's more to be pitied than scorned. I love that. That's a Ricky Skaggs line from when I love country music. She's more to be pitied than scorned. I feel sorry for him because what they're projecting outwardly is their own self-loathing.
I've heard a lot of rappers are secretly closeted gay people.
Well, a lot of black men are raised by black women, and there's a lot of femininity there, so they have to overcompensate for it by doing this sort of pimp walk and saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? And that's almost a drag into itself. It's like this sort of uber masculine drag, and you're like, what are you doing? Can we just please talk?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm robbing niggas like Shaquille. Shit is real. When it's time to eat a meal, I rob and steal.
You're Biggie Smalls.
You're turning
on. Because my puke ain't giving me shit. So for the bread and butter, I'll leave niggas in the gutter.
Wow. Good singing. Well, listen, RuPaul. As a matter of fact, some of our own staff have dressed in drag on the cover of my second book. I was in drag.
We're all in drag.
And Ben Shee, the man you fell in love with, Benji, there he is as a woman. Can you see that? Can you see him there?
Oh, yeah.
That is Ben Shee.
Any second thoughts now?
Wow.
You still want to marry him?
No, he's very cute.
Yeah,
very cute.
He's pregnant there.
He looks like Peggy Lee.
Yeah. No, that's Ben Shee.
Yeah.
Not Benji.
Did you wear lashes when you did your
drag? Did you do lashes?
I have natural lashes.
Those were your own lashes. You were rocking your own lashes.
There's some mascara on them. But
well, listen, for everybody out there listening, if you even have gorgeous lashes, you still need to wear false eyelashes.
Well, I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah.
RuPaul's film Star Booty available on DVD now. And, I used to hang out a lot at Patricia Fields. And
yes.
You did?
Just get my hair done by all the drag queens.
I heard from Dana the other day.
Dana.
Dana.
Dana?
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
But, Dana's, last time I heard from Dana, he was looking for some money for some tits.
Really?
I think Dana got her tits.
No, she did the whole thing.
Dana got the tits?
For more information, go to starbooty.com. RuPaul, great to meet you and hang out here.
So, will there be a date?
I would love to date Benji. I think he's fabulous.
All right, well, we'll try and hook it up.
Okay, can you do that for me?
I'll see.
Now, you finally realized something or observed something from one of the staff members. Benji has been saying for years that he has nice eyes.
Oh, he has? Really? He does. I mean, his eyes are very open and very warm and kind, and there's intelligence there.
So you think he could actually thrive in the gay community? Because a lot of times Howard says he's too overweight and nobody even notices his eyes, and Benji tends to think he has nice blue eyes and nice strong calf muscles.
I don't know if he could thrive. I think he could thrive anywhere he wants to go because his eyes, which are the window to his soul, are open and kind and warm. And if people aren't shut down, they will be able to see that and they will gravitate toward him.
So there's hope for Benji yet?
Oh, actually, Benji has the most hope.
RuPaul, here's Benji.
This is how I look when I'm in shape. This is my old welfare.
You know what? You are in shape.
Thanks. Well,
you are in shape.
I want it to be healthy.
And you know what I told them on camera is that what's going on here is that your eyes are open. There's an intelligence. There's a kindness there that most people don't have, and I can feel you there. So listen, if people aren't responding to you otherwise, it's because they're all shut down. Well, and listen, I'm not just saying that because we're on tape here. This is the truth, absolute truth. So you take that how you want to.
It just made me really. I was starting today feeling down, and I'm like feeling the way people should feel every day now. Happy.
You should, and don't forget it. Every day it's a process of remembering who we really are, and who you really are is so beautiful and open and kind and smart. There's a consciousness in your eyes where you go, there you are, oh hi, and you want to just get to know you better. So listen, don't base how you feel on what other people are thinking, because most people are shut down. They can't afford to open up their heart because they're too scared. There's too much trauma involved there. You know what I'm saying?
I really think this is
good.
Thanks a lot.
Good. All right, Benji. Thank you very much. All right. I'm off. See you later.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Benj, man, finally someone notices some,
Finally somebody talks.
No. But seriously, Benj, you've been saying for years that you have nice attributes like your eyes and your calf muscles. And
I didn't even show my calf.
I know, but you didn't need to.
Yeah. I just, you know what? I'm not going to try to make any jokes because...
No, you seem genuinely happy about this.
It made me feel really, really good. So thank you, RuPaul. Thank you.
And you were wearing glasses today, and she was still able to, or he was still able to.
Yeah, and I was, okay, here's some insecurities. I'm worried, like, is it because I have glasses on today? And here's another even bigger insecurity. RuPaul might be so sensitive, and maybe she realized I felt bad, or he realized I felt bad today, and said, you know what, I'm going to make this person feel better.
I wouldn't overthink it, man. He noticed right away. Like, you.
But that's like being insecure. I just feel good. I feel good.
So let's roll with it.
I feel good.
Let's see a confident stride back into the studio.
Well, it feels like I'm just going to be me.
But show it.
My open, intelligent, sensitive, sweet self. And kind. Lisa's giddy now about me. She feels it.
It's funny, because he nailed you right on.
Thank you. Thank you.
You go, girl.
Oh, now I'm a schmuck again. I just walked in there and I'm a schmuck again.
Come on, carry that in there.
Previously on the Miss Howard Stern Show.
Jackie's downstairs crying.
Well, let her cry. Guys with big cocks are cool.
I'm about to go there and beat that fucking girl's ass.
Did I say anything bad? Honestly, if I did, fucking tell her I'm not looking.
I had a really nervous feeling about her and Jackie leaving together.
Me and you work the same goddamn job.
Not exactly.
Okay, sorry I've never been a stripper.
Stop the shit with the stripping. So I'm gonna slap you in the fucking face. You ain't gonna do it. Bring on me fucking stripping.
Damn it.
No, hell no, I'm about to hit you.
How did I get here? Where's my car? Who are you? Did we meet at the bar? She's been Miss Howard Stern since 2002. Loves to party, loves to screw. Had some bad times that she's been through, but it hasn't ever changed her good attitude. She had a lot of drama, so they gave her a show. It used to be a secret, now the world will know. She's got issues, she's learning to deal. The boobs are fake, but the voice is real.
Start the damn show. Jackie, why are you crying?
It don't fucking matter.
You went down crying and I was trying to do my job. What is the deal?
Me and you work the same goddamn job.
Not exactly.
Okay, sorry I've never been a stripper.
Okay, this is not fucking about me stripping. That's bullshit. Stop that shit right there. I went through hell to get where I am today. Fucking want to bitch at me for stripping? Go ahead, you have the nerve to walk up and take your clothes off. Stop this shit with the stripping. So I'm gonna slap you in the fucking face. Bring on me fucking stripping.
Damn it.
No, hell no, I'm about to hit you. Bring on me fucking Bring on me
No.
Bring on me stripping.
Stop.
That's bullshit. I wanted to hurt her. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. She pissed me off. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, well, don't fuck with me.
What? Don't fuck with me.
I have never experienced Andrea the way she was that night.
When I saw that, I was thinking, wow, this is crazy, man. This this girl's crazy. She is. I mean, whew.
You ain't gonna do fucking shit.
Oh, you think so? You think Jay can hold me back?
If the Howard TV crew did not step in between mine and Andrea's fight, we would have went at it.
Oh, let's fucking see.
No, stop.
I will fucking hurt you. There's just so much I can take, and I can't take someone crying like a baby around me all the time like that every time I'm having fun with other people. Bullshit. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Give me my shit. Don't you fucking touch me. No, Whoa. I would take her head and bash it into the ground so many times. Oh, you want it, bitch? Not only would I hit her, I'd stab her.
Get her off the bus. Get her off the bus. Get her off the bus.
Take my shirt off.
Get her off the bus.
No, that's my shirt. Take it off.
Get her off the bus.
That's my shirt. Take it off.
They pulled me off the bus and took me into the other van.
She came at me first. She fucking asked for it, man.
I was upset because she is my friend, and I didn't understand why, she'd gotten all upset about it. The reason why I was upset was just the whole deal. So I just kind of sat in the back and chilled on the way home.
I'm sorry, guys. I was raised down in the country. I'm redneck. I was raised to fight. If it comes down to it, I won't fight you unless you come to me first, but she just put off the shame. Jackie does this all the time when I have a job. She goes and cries and acts like a little bitch every time I have a job. And she wants me to go run to her and just stay by her side and we're having a good time. I'm tired of this fucking shit. Fuck that shit. And basically, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm right or wrong, because I'm fucking right, so fuck that.
Andre sent a few texts saying, what kind of friend are you, blah, blah, blah. And then, being bipolar, she was going to call me.
Hi. Hello? Yeah. You started all that shit on me. What? You started all that shit on me. Who did? You. I didn't do anything. Yeah, you were crying and upset, and I was trying to do what I needed to do. And you got all mad at me and said some kind of smart comment that pissed me off. I had a fucking anxiety attack, and I needed you to come down there and talk to me for 5 minutes. But no, you couldn't do that. This fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit because every time you get drunk, you're crying upset, and I'm trying to be happy, and it's just fucked up. Do you understand? Just put a kind of smile on your face. I'm calling on you. I got it handled. It's coming to my house. No, I don't want to talk about it, and then you sit there and fucking cuss at me because I don't want to talk about it. That's fucked up. You should just leave me alone. I didn't. Oh, you got it and cussed at me. That's why you said, oh, God damn it. Let's not talk about that. Let's just get the fuck over it. Come on. This is bullshit. Yeah, well, we better get the fuck over it. Well, I'm not dealing with the fucking fighting bullshit anymore, because next time it ain't gonna be no fucking pussy fight. But don't you talk about my... whatever you said. You don't even know what you're talking about. Damn it. Me and Jackie are working it out. I told her to get the fuck over it. I was kind of upset. It's I just need to talk to my mom. Jackie started her shit again last night, and it's making me look bad. What Jackie did? Well, we had a barbecue at Tish's, my hairdresser. Yeah. And you know how she always starts pouting and crying? And I didn't want to go down there because I wanted to be at the party, and because I knew it was nothing because she does it all the time. And then she pissed me off by saying I got this by being a stripper, so I swung at her, tried to hit her. And then she starts crying, and everybody's like, oh, poor Jackie, except everybody knows. She's not gonna change. How bad you hurt her? I didn't get to her. They wouldn't let me. I'll call you when I get out. Fine. Go fold some clothes. She volunteers at a homeless shelter. I just need my mom to understand, and I just want to talk to my mom. I need Tish to understand, so I want to talk to Tish.
Andrea has told me that when she talks to me, it is like Xanax. After we talk, she usually chills out, and it just makes her feel better when someone actually sits there and listens to what she's talking about.
Hello? Tish, I need to talk to you.
Okay, what's going on?
Well, I need your advice. I don't know what to do. You know the whole story about Jackie.
That girl is like poison in your life because she is so sneaky and so tricky. She is going to do whatever she can to make you look stupid. I'm thinking, say, if you want to apologize to her, apologize to her. It never hurts to just tell someone you're sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I want to tell her I'm sorry for trying to hit her, but, I mean, she pissed me off. And you know it takes it takes a lot to piss me off. I gotta do some laundry and stuff.
Okay.
And I gotta get something to eat and go to the liquor store. Okay, I love you, Tish.
Alright, love you too. I'll talk to you later.
I don't like those. Well, I'm sorry. It got spilled somehow. Oh! And you can't just leave milk sitting there. It starts to smell. Oh, gross. This is really, I'm gonna throw up. And after being 6 months, I was like, this has gotta go. And I needed to make up my bed. So I was just like, I'm goddamn cleaning this up. Oh, gross. It's like kind of plastered to my dresser. It's like glued. This is bullshit. It ruined my nails. I need a pedicure. I just scrape it off. It was like, oh, it was gross. I had to scrape it off. Oh. Oh. And then when I got it all wet with the Clorox spray, it was like throw up mush. I just wanted to barf everywhere, but I finally got it up. I'm never eating Rice Krispie treats again. Then I had to vacuum what flipped off in the floor. I had to vacuum that up. Which I hate vacuuming. Hate cleaning. I just really wanted to drink and eat and just have fun and just go on with the show because the show must go on, and fuck that shit and not deal with it and have fun. Got me some food, a bottle of Jack Daniels. Kind of calmed me down. I did feel bad and I was disappointed because I was just tired of fighting, and I don't like fighting. I just want to be friends. So I called to apologize. She didn't answer. I left her a message. I'm calling to apologize to you for having me to try to hit you. I need to talk to you about some things because this keeps happening, and we have good times together, but then you always get upset when I just need to know what the deal is so it can stop. Sorry I tried to hit you. Call me back. After I try to call Jackie, I'm sitting there, drinking my Jack, on the phone. Then I look up and there's this woman sitting there in all red.
My name is Deborah Bailey, and I'm a life coach, and my company is It's My Time Now Life Coaching. When I first got there, and I went into her room, that was the first place that I saw her, and she was sitting up in bed, and she didn't acknowledge me. I got to see her in her environment, and I think she was so out of it. I don't know that she even saw that I was standing there. I don't think that she was ignoring me. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I see you standing there. I'm good, sort of.
Andrea?
Yes.
I'm Deborah. I'm the life coach.
Hi. When I first saw the life coach, I actually, for some reason, knew exactly who she was. I mean, not who she was, but what she was. And actually, I felt calm.
Can I just jump up there with you?
Yeah, I'll make some room. I was just talking to some of my friends that know a friend of mine that know the past and like what I've been through with her and everything she's done.
Y'all are friends?
And yeah, and then we weren't friends for a while because she did a lot of horrible things to me.
I was a little bit disturbed that she was drinking alcohol because as a life coach, I take the work that I do very seriously, and I usually command that people that are doing sessions with me be drug and alcohol free, at least for the session, because I want them to be conscious and present about what's going on.
I do drink a lot.
Yeah. Why do you think you do that? And I'm not judging you. That's
you know
one thing that I want you to know. I'm not judging you,
I don't
honey.
know exactly what to say, why I do it. I'm like...
Well, are you running?
Something happens and I'm like, hell, I need a drink.
I wanted to make her feel comfortable enough to start talking to me and opening up, because the first thing that you need to do as a coach is get someone feel comfortable with you.
Back in the past, I have a 7-year-old that I had full custody of.
You have a 7-year-old?
Yeah, I had full custody of. I have joint custody now.
So do you want to have your daughter back all the time?
Yeah. I'm lucky I still have joint custody, but I want her back all the time, but...
Was part of the reason you lost her the drinking and drugs, you think?
Yeah. And also I married this idiot. I just went off to marry this guy I knew for 2 days, and it wasn't... I would have still had her, I think, but he went up on the stand and talked some crazy stuff.
I think she's very much in love with her daughter, but she's not at this point willing to make the changes to get the full custody back, even though that's what she says that she wants.
I guess I need to try harder.
Do you think you hold yourself back? You self-sabotage yourself sometimes?
The only thing that I hold myself back is because I don't want to leave my daughter and lose her completely, and that's the only thing I'm afraid of.
Are you in a relationship now?
I don't know if I'd call it a relationship. I don't know, because I have a boyfriend, but we're always fighting.
Does he live here?
Yeah, and I don't know where he is. He hasn't called me in like 2 days.
My opinion about the men that are in Andrea's life is that she really doesn't have anybody that's supportive of her and looking after her. It seems like a lot of the people around her, men included, use her maybe for her body or sex, but I don't think that she's ever found a man that really loved her and cared about her. Does he treat you well?
He used to.
But I think she uses sex to feel better about herself. That's the way that she gets men to follow her, to come after her, to do things for her, to buy things for her, etc. Do you practice safe sex?
I get really drunk sometimes and don't pay attention. I've been pregnant a lot.
Do you think you're pregnant by him?
I don't know. If I'm pregnant, I'm not having a baby.
So do you think you are?
I don't know.
My opinion about the possible pregnancy, that I was just appalled. I guess it bothers me that she doesn't think enough of herself to take care of herself, because she does have this child. If she doesn't think enough of herself, think about your child. And if she were to get HIV, some other STD, she can't continue to use abortion as a method of birth control. She had her 5th instead of one.
I know.
So, I would have to say probably you are. What are you going to do if you are?
Well, I go to the doctor, do the blood thing, they'll tell me the ultrasound. And I don't know.
How many abortions has this doctor done?
Well, I've been to different doctors.
Oh, you got a different doctor, okay.
I'm embarrassed.
All right, so are you going to go to the same doctor as 4 weeks ago?
No.
A different doctor, okay.
So, like, I'm talking to Deborah, then I look up, see Jackie.
I woke up, I checked my cell phone, and I had a voicemail from her crying, you know, saying how sorry she was and that I was her best friend. It was ridiculous that we were fighting the way we were, and that I needed to come over so we could talk about things.
Well, when Jackie did come in, Andrea made her wait at the bottom of the bed. I think that Andrea saw her there, and she just didn't want to deal with it at that moment.
That's Jackie.
Yeah. Oh.
You left me a voicemail crying, so I came by to check on you. I wasn't crying. I left you a voicemail to tell you I needed to talk to you.
Okay, well, what do you want to talk about? We may be having our Andrea asked me if I would leave from the conversation of her and the life coach that was there and to shut the door.
I'll finish up with Deborah.
Okay, so.
Jackie, can you close my door?
Yeah. So I leave and I shut the door and I stand at the door and I'm listening and I'm hearing her bad talk me.
She's sneaky like that because there's nothing I wouldn't say to her face. You can obviously see she's still mad. So it's not going to change.
So then you just need to think about, you know, if you want her to continue to be a part of your life. I didn't think that there was a lot of positive interaction that happened between them or any resolution to what the next step of their relationship was. And, you know, in my opinion, it really disturbed what I was trying to do with her.
Me and my feelings towards the life coach with Andrea, that life coach did not seem like she even knew what she was talking about. She has a bottle of Jack in her hand. Laugh out loud.
My advice to Andrea would be to cut Jackie out of her life. Jackie has clearly shown that she is not her friend and continues to show that. All along, and I would tell Andrea this now, Jackie is not your friend. Because friends are people that you can count on through the ups and downs. They're people that are there for you. She's just a hanger-oner and a wannabe.
The session with Deborah was ending. I was about to cry because the whole Jackie thing, I just couldn't deal with it. And Deborah gave me a really long hug. made me feel really good. She made me feel really comfortable.
I hope I at least gave her some things to think about. I would like to have a follow-up with her. I would actually like to work with her.
We just clicked, and she's a great person to talk to, and we said our goodbyes, and I can't wait to talk to her again.
She is a train wreck for sure, and you know, it's up to her at this point.
Y'all stay tuned for this on the next episode of the Miss Howard Stern Show. Well, the drink is a place in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's a club. You crazy? Mother, have a drink. Tell my mom I'm behaving. Oh.
We're going to the after party, the pool, and all that.
Let's go to the after party.
Andrea felt like she needed to puke, and so we pulled the trash can up, and I was holding the trash can like I've done before.
They think I can fucking just have sex and I'll get pregnant.
Do you love whiskey? Do you pop pills? Would you get drunk and kiss me? 'Cause Andrea will. She's
Oh, baby, I'm
shy. She's lines of good times. She knows how to party, just as hard as she knows how to cry. And all the boys wanna know if I fucked her.
Oh, hell.
All the girls wanna know why I love her. You wanna know this, there's no crazier bitch. You can search the whole world, you won't find one like this. She's the reason Xanax exists, and I guess I just get her. So I'll stay on the phone until dawn, if it makes her feel better.